And now, from the bowels of the internet, it's the Hate This Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Yellkaos. With me, as always, King of the Ring winner 1998, 1989, and 2007, Razor Fist.
Godspeed. I hope you have no boils on your penis.
Amateur Gynecologist of the Year 2011, Alpha Omega Sin.
And I can't get those damn fucking creepy, weird ring stains off my elbows, because, you know, you gotta really get in there to get out all the gunk.
And the Guinness Book World Record holder for world's shortest webcast, Sainted Magnus.
You fucking prick.
Hello,
It's nap time.
Hello, I'm Stench Magnus, and no, I did not fall asleep. I was going to bed. It was 6 a.m. in the morning, so...
And that's why you don't start a webcast at 5:30 in the morning.
It was... Okay, I think somebody's fallen asleep. Anyway, let's get on.
It's just the weather over there in England. Anyway, Welcome to our show. Wasting no time at all, we're going to go directly into the mailbag.
Female bag.
The female bag with the pumice and whatever have you.
And the placenta.
And the placenta. Our first piece of mail comes to, it actually comes to us at the hatebitpodcast@gmail.com email address. So if you have any questions or concerns of any kind, please send it to hatebitpodcast@gmail.com.
Whether we read it or not, we can't be bothered.
Exactly. Our first piece of mail comes from Kennedy Goodlit, and Kennedy says, "Hello, guys.
Hello.
I was just wondering what you guys think about a possible Battle Royale video game. And also, will you ever give Assassin's Creed 3 a 2-minute chance?"
No.
No.
Well, I am for the Battle Royale video game idea.
Are we talking about the
I like that
PlayStation
quite
Battle Royale?
What I thought the Hunger
I
Games
thought it was
already...
Battle Royale, like the movie.
No, I thought the Hunger Games was already getting a game.
Ah, yes.
Right?
The Hunger Games already had a movie. It was called The Running Man.
Ah, shit.
Aww.
So close, so close.
Do it.
But now I want a Battle Royale movie. Just like, have you guys seen Battle Royale?
I have. It is fucking brilliant.
It better star Schwarzenegger.
No.
That'd be fucking amazing.
So he's going to be like a little a Japanese school kid now?
Yeah, the other Japanese schoolgirls. Sorry.
When I think of Battle Royale, I think of the Battle Royale for the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, nice.
If anybody remembers that, it controlled horribly, but it was fantastic.
The only Battle Royale I'm interested in is in Saturday Night Slam Masters.
Oh, Saturday Night Slam Masters was... Oh, well, don't forget WWF WrestleFest.
There were a lot of really bad WWF games. And then there was Yeah.
And then there was... And then Sega's Wrestle War. I like that one, too. Anyway, and is anybody going to give Assassin's Creed 3 a 2-minute chance?
I'll give it a 30-second chance. That's all it's getting.
Well, assuming it gets released.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if this lawsuit doesn't
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was going to say, got to remember all the lawyers that are ready to just spread its little butt cheeks apart and fucking go gung-ho on its fucking butthole.
The thing is, like, doesn't this kind of indicate how fucking bought out the legal system is at this point? That they're not even concerning themselves with the fact that they're being sued for the right to even release their goddamn game, and they're just going ahead with marketing like nothing happened.
They're like, nah, it's cool, don't worry.
No, it's all right. You know, hey,
pockets
that's all we
full.
did you guys did. Here's $10, go away.
Yeah, basically. That's really sickening, personally. But I don't know, I'll give it a chance. It looks cool. I gave all the other recent Assassin's Creed games a chance, and they sure did fucking suck, though. So, yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely give the game a chance just because I like the fact that this one, at the very least, is standing out by comparison to the rest of the pack, just because of the whole, time period setting and everything. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed
yeah,
in the woods.
Yeah, but I don't know,
I'll at the
dude.
very least try that out. I just hope that it doesn't become a fucking third-person shooter by the time the next game comes out after that.
Yeah, but having the tagline of "more Desmond than ever" isn't exactly
Oh.
endearing anyone to the game, personally.
You know that we don't say that name around here. It's an illegal name.
Oh, that fucking prick. I can't be doing with any more sections of Desmond climbing a fucking building when he doesn't. And he doesn't even fucking kill anything. For
Well, and you
fuck's
know what
sake,
they're gonna.
The whole point of it is to actually say, oh, this is Desmond, he's going to grow into an assassin, and by the time you get to Assassin's Creed 3, you are actually playing as him as part of the story. That's what they originally said, but now we've got this Native American British hybrid fucking assassin with a bloody axe, and his hidden blade. If you watch the new gameplay trailer, his hidden blade actually turns into a fucking dagger. So it kind of defeats the object of having the hidden blade.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a bit.
So, but that's the thing. I don't know. I'm not. It's interesting that they're changing the setting, but I am just not. Number one, it's gonna be really interesting to see how well this turns out because Patrice Desilets, who was like the writer of Assassin's Creed for a long time, the last game that he had any creative input whatsoever on was Assassin's Creed Revelations, and even that was just taken from like notes and a general idea of where he was going to take it. He left the company for THQ. I can't imagine why. It's not as if they're milking his franchise to death over at Ubisoft. But basically, it's the first game that he's not going to be involved in at all on any level. So seeing which direction it goes here, it could be either complete and utter unplayable shit, or it could be a great return to form and a completely new direction for the series. I'm not holding my breath because I would die.
If I held my breath for the Assassin's Creed series now, I kind of lost interest after Brotherhood. And the only reason I lost interest after Brotherhood because it just felt too samey. Now, Ezio as an assassin is not that bad. I just wish he'd shut his face.
I hate Ezio. I was getting so fucking tired of him by the end of Assassin's Creed 2, and then aliens showed up. Prehistoric aliens were introduced to the series of Assassin's Creed, which, by the way, just to give you an indication of how little the right hand knows what the left hand is doing at Ubisoft, the lead writer of the series now says that it's not about ancient astronauts or aliens, even though Patrice Desilets, the guy who originally wrote it, says, yeah, it was about ancient astronauts. It was about aliens coming to Earth and implanting their genetic code into humans or whatever the fuck the idea was. Anyways, it jumped the shark with a triple axle front flip as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
So.
I think we've given it more than two minutes now.
I say, gentlemen, I'm going to have to cut you off because you're ruining the rest of the show.
Oh.
You realize
you're
stealing away from other parts of the show.
Yeah, but you were going to ruin the show before, so.
Well, I know,
really.
but
Yeah.
okay, but talking about topics prematurely is different than my flatulence. All right.
Hey, I know. And are we gonna have a section where we talk about what race you are? Because I think that's what everybody really wants.
That is the big topic. They say, "Where the hell do I come from?"
He comes from the slimy gunk that you find under the toilet seat.
Yeah. It's
What
like where in
kinda-
the world?
My God, there's not much sanitation going on in Britain, is there?
No, there's plenty of sanitation in
You
Britain.
got sludge underneath the toilet seat? Dude, we got this stuff here. It's called Formula 409. You're going to love it. You spray it and the stuff comes right off.
I like the scrubbing bubbles better because they have
the scrubbing
happy
bubbles?
expressions while they
The
clean up
Scrubbing
all
Bubbles
that
also
stuff.
got their own video game.
I'm happy with
What?
asbestos. That works well enough for me.
Wait. Scrubbing Bubbles has a video game?
Huh?
You've never played Bubbles from Midway?
No.
Oh.
Play that game. They look exactly the same. It's great.
I thought you meant like Scrubbing Bubbles, the video game.
Look at you.
Michael Bay.
Look at
No,
you.
not-
He's overtly deceiving our audience. Look at you.
Well, absolutely.
That's terrible.
Yes.
You probably got a lot of people's hopes up right now. Like they
And
were just like
I know,
rushing
right?
around on the internet looking for it, and you just dashed their fucking hopes into nothing.
No, people
Hey,
were
if
looking.
Burger King can have a fucking video game, then cleaning products can have a fucking video game, all right?
I know. People were
It's
looking
about
to you
as
for.
healthy to eat at Burger King as it is to drink Scrubbing Bubbles.
I'd rather drink scrubbing bubbles than eat at fucking McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about McDonald's. We're talking about Burger King.
Burger King tastes better than McDonald's, especially
Burger
over
King,
here.
they pee on everything.
You are.
I can't
How
back
did we
that.
get to talking about Burger King?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm trying
hey,
to
remember, we
drift
talk
onto
about
Assassin's
food at
Creed.
least once a podcast, so
Yeah,
now we
there
can
we go.
talk about Burger King.
Now the burgers. We'll have a much more expanded burger discussion in our second half.
Okay.
Moving on. Our next piece of mail comes from Dark Retro Fan 64, and Dark Retro Fan says, "Hey guys, I enjoy the podcast,
Good.
as you should.
Fuck you.
Stay back, sit a while. Fuck you." My question
Sorry,
is, what do you guys? I beg your pardon?
I said I was channeling Vince McMahon there for a moment. I apologize.
No, you have to go, you're fired.
Sorry. Had to be
Why
done.
does he sound like he comes from Kentucky when he does that?
Dude, the entire fucking audience is in the
You're
splash zone
fired.
firing somebody. They just pull up the fucking plastic tarp and just prepare for all the fucking
Yeah.
saliva to hit them. It's
If
awful.
If you've got the grapefruits.
Oh man! Oh, and the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club when he's ramming fucking fully grown men's fucking noses right up his fucking cornhole. You gotta love that. And he's smiling the entire time. You know he definitely does something kinky in the bedroom.
Yeah, but Rikishi used to do that as well.
Yeah, and look where Rikishi is now.
I know.
Vince McMahon was half of the reason that Stone Cold Steve Austin took off. That's why, because he was
Vince McMahon
such.
is most of the reason why everybody takes off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's-
exactly.
That's a good reason.
Whether it's under their own accord or not, Vince McMahon is the reason that people just kind of get lost from that company.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Oh, wasn't there a mail piece?
I know.
There was.
There's a piece of mail. I swear there was a piece of mail. I
Yeah,
think.
we were talking about mail. I swear to God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought so.
To be
Before we
honest, I've
continue
got a
on-
thing of rum, so I'm not sure if we were talking about mail, but I might just be imagining shit.
Well, before we finish the rest of the mailbag, I just want to say that Vince McMahon managed to scare away the Ultimate Warrior. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
The man who changed his real name to the Warrior.
Vince McMahon's ego defeated that. Anyway, moving on. Dark Retro Fan says, "My question is, what do you think on the development status of Final Fantasy Versus 13? I'm sorry, what the hell is that?"
It's basically.
I could touch on this, but I'll wait.
Oh, go for it. I'm sure you know what it is because I give less than a fuck about it.
Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 13 Versus has been in production since before the PS3 even came out. And it like nobody knows where the fuck it's at.
Alpha.
It's just kind of hanging in purgatory somewhere. It's
Yeah.
a fucking shame.
No, Alpha. I mean, I was reading a recent scientific report that archaeologists now predict that there were depictions of Final Fantasy 13 Versus on cave paintings during the Cenozoic period, actually. So
We have found evidence in the Grand Canyon.
it's true.
You see, judging from all these rings, you see the further in that you go, you can kind of see right there. Look, that one ring, it looks like it spells out Versus FF13. You got to understand, it's all science. It's all
they
explained.
It's science.
They
It's
changed
science.
the name. They changed the name now, right? It's a Gito 13, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
The thing is that I was excited about the game a long time ago. So much time has passed. Most people aren't even like aware that the game exists anymore because so much time has passed. Like it's becoming the Duke Nukem Forever of the RPG world, and it's fucking depressing, really, because we got FF13, which is miserable pile of fucking horseshit, and for everybody, it's gonna fucking sit there and say, "How dare you say it?" No, it fucking sucks. Anyhow, moving forward, Versus 13 looked promising, but they're seemingly never getting off their asses and fucking getting this thing churned out. And what's even worse is they still have had no plans to localize it. Tell me that's not kind of fucked.
Well, it's like Final Fantasy Zero, which is out in the PSP in Japan. We're not
It
getting
looks
it.
amazing.
We're not getting it. The English-speaking world isn't getting it.
Yeah, and
Those
meanwhile, their
bastards.
fucking games, like for the most part, end up selling better over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless it's Monster Hunter, then it just never sells as well by comparison.
No, Monster Hunter is a piece of shite. I played the
But it-
PS2 version, brilliant. Played the PSP versions, not so brilliant.
No, but FF13 Versus, I want to play the game, but it's still shrouded in so much mystery. Like, has there even been gameplay footage of it?
Yeah, there's footage of it.
What is it
'Cause
like? Is it
all I've seen is cutscenes and everything. That's literally all I've seen. Like, me personally, I've just seen cutscenes after cutscenes after cutscenes. And granted, they all look amazing, but this is Square Enix we're talking about. They put out lots of great looking cutscenes. That's all fine and dandy. I want a game with characters I actually don't want to choke to death. Like Hope.
Well, that's how they market the fucking games. They show you cutscenes and cutscenes and cutscenes. It says this is not actual gameplay. Then when you actually play the game, pardon me, it sometimes looks like arse.
Oh, hey, hopefully it does turn out to be
cutscenes
gameplay.
in between his MS-DOS.
I'm just really hoping that it is gameplay and not just spam the X button. All right, you win. Wasn't that great? That was a very engaging battle and had lots of strategy in it.
Well, here's how lazy they've got. You played Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 4, whatever you want to call it, right? On the PSP version, if you can't be bothered pressing the X button and deciding what you want to do in your battle, just press the select button, and it does the whole thing for you.
Yeah, here, how about this? All listeners, if you are really into the Final Fantasy series and you're waiting for Versus 13, do this. Do yourself a great big favor. Please go out and pick up Tales of Grace's F on PS3. If you have a PS3, please pick it up. Great fucking game. If you don't have one, then pick up Tales of Vesperia. It's on 360. Another great game. Seriously, fucking awesome. Okay, that's enough of me showboating those games. Anyway.
Any more questions from I forgot his name.
You forgotten my name?
No, his name. The message
No,
guy.
that was his only question. We have one more piece of mail for this half, and then we'll get into the rest of our first half here. Last piece of mail comes from Elder of Mars, and Elder of Mars asks, "Why does Lord Sin not have his own video series on the 8-Bit Podcast channel on YouTube?" Now, I will tell you this, Elder of Mars, I have to tell you, I worked briefly as an assistant to Alpha Omega Sin, and he had an official statement for things like this, and he would say, "You think I'm going to give you anything for free when you could come to my fucking channel?" No, he didn't say that. Alpha Omega Sin, why don't you provide any content on the 8-Bit Podcast channel?
I've actually talked about this with all the guys multiple times because everybody's got their own videos, obviously, because I'm talking about it now. I'm trying to come up with like a running series that I can do specifically just on the podcast, and I've thought up a number of ideas, things that were not video game related, things that were music related, things that were specifically video game related, just a bunch of shit. I have no clue what I want to do. As a matter of fact, how about this? If anybody wants to see something me specifically do and nothing porn related, please.
I think I just wrote your show. If you want to hear my idea.
Sure. What's up?
Okay, here's what you're gonna do. You know how Razor's got the Razor's Edge, and I've got Chaos Theory, and Sainted's got
Comments answered.
Comments answers portion. I forget. You don't have a snappy name yet. We got to work on that.
Well,
yeah, you need a nice
tell you
title.
what, on the Facebook, right? You guys get tapping. Come up
Yeah,
with
if
an
you
idea.
want to make up the name for, give us some suggestions for the name of Alpha or of Sainted's show.
Yes.
Because I already know what I think I would call.
Yeah,
Alpha
you figure it's a Q&A that Sainted just answers questions. So if you can think of some snappity badass name or just something that's relatively amusing that we can all laugh our asses off and get a good fucking chuckle out of, then just do
That's
that.
why I didn't let them
Even
name
that.
Chaos Theory, because Chaos Theory would have been some big fat asshole blow smoke in my face.
The Sainted Massacre.
Sainted Massacre.
The Mighty Magnus.
No, wait a minute. That's not funny.
The Mighty Mandingo.
You see,
Somebody-
if our podcast gets big enough, the Sainted Massacre can be like a runoff series, which is really just a slasher film series starring
on
Sainted
NBC.
running around killing people.
I
There
kill
you go.
video game related characters. First on the chopping block.
Kenji
Lightning.
Sujimoto.
Lightning.
Yeah,
No,
go with
like-
Lightning.
All Final Fantasy lead characters since Final Fantasy X.
Oh, there you go.
Fuck, I'd start earlier than that. Kill Squall, that emo bitch. Whatever.
Except
Yeah, oh man, you know that the fucking comments are gonna get lit up like, how dare you? It is engaging. It's just like, look, their opinions, everybody. Just comment down. Calm the boners. Calm the boners.
How can you enjoy Squall? He's a character based on one word, and that word is whatever. That's all he ever says.
In
Oh,
Spanish,
and he does
he's
that
que
motion
sera,
with his
sera.
hand and shakes his head. He's just like, what the fuck ever.
Whatever.
Anyway, my idea for the Alpha Omega Sin spin-off onto the Hate Bit podcast channel would be Alpha Male. And you should put on one of those big muscle suits, and then you should like just pose in front of the camera like Jason Moore does and say, right, I like games, but I don't like anything else. It'd wear thin shortly, but it would be kind of catchy for a time.
You
I don't
want
know.
something to keep going, not something that will last a week.
Yeah. Yeah, if
Well, that's
anybody's
it.
got some random ideas that you really want to see me do specifically on the podcast, and go for it, because
One of those shows we can keep writing until it's funny.
No, I think
I have no clue what I want to do. It's just that there's like a billion things, but I'm like, I don't fucking know what I want to pick. I'm indecisive. That's my problem. I'm seriously one of the most indecisive people I know, and I'm just like, I can't pick something. So
I
yeah,
think it has to be the Alpha Omega Sin old-timey workout hour. You'll ride those old-timey 1800s bicycles and lift triangular weights and shit.
dude, I gotta curl my fucking mustache on the ends though.
Yes!
Yes, we're getting somewhere.
But don't forget, around the holidays, you got to do the Alpha Omega Sin old-timey country simple Christmas. And, and we'll all sit around and sing Art Linkletter songs.
I was gonna say the only way I'm accepting of this is if we have those fucking 80s Christmas sweaters like Bill Cosby. It pretty much.
Oh, I call a Bill Cosby sweater right now.
He's knitting
You
one.
see, the secret to life is Jello pudding. Wait, no, it's Kodak film.
Puddin' pop.
Pudding pops.
He's actually
Anyway.
knitting the sweaters as we speak.
So it's safe to say that Alpha Omega Sin, you're working on a show for the Hate Bit podcast channel.
I have tons of ideas. I just need to pick one seriously.
Well, as soon as you nail it down, let us know.
I'll figure it out. I assure you, everybody, I am going to do something. I don't know what. I apologize, please.
All right,
please.
everybody. Well, stay tuned. There's a new series coming from Alpha Omega Sin eventually.
I think we should
Yeah.
call it Omega News. He should do some
Omega
news.
News.
The
He
thing
should
is, I do the
some
news on my own
He always
channel.
does.
That's why I was just like, it won't be different enough.
You should
Oh,
do
wow.
news about stuff that no one cares about, like, tell them like your dad has high blood pressure.
My dad does have high blood pressure.
There you go.
Like, my dad has high blood pressure, then I just point the camera at him, and he's like, get the fuck away from me. And I'm like, alrighty then. That's the end. Now you all know.
Your dad just sitting there eating Honey Nut Cheerios, like, my doctor said it was good for me.
Who thinks we should make a TV channel?
Damn,
That's
I am
TV channel,
thinking.
you got that kind of money?
I'm sure
Wait,
we could beat G4 up
Oh, well, that wouldn't be
Rob
hard.
the
We just
lunch
see how
money.
money they do.
and rob the lunch.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the mailbag segment. We'll have more mail in our second half.
What's
And
up?
if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, please drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com or facebook.com/hatebitpodcast or any of our individual Facebook channels. Or actually, they're not channels, they're pages, and you'll find those in the description box down below.
And in addition to that, I set up a new Facebook group for if you guys find any news stories for us that you want us to talk about, post them on that page. If you want an invite, send me a message through the 8-Bit Podcast and I'll send you an invite. There we go. Thought I'd get that out there.
There we go. So moving on to the news stories of our first half. Oh, Sainted Magnus was really excited about this, so I'm going to let him take it away. The Dishonored release date. What do you have to say about there, good old Sainted Magnus?
We have a final release. We have a release date that was announced this week for Dishonored, and it's coming out on PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. For North America, it comes out on the 9th of October 2012, and it's followed by the UK and European release. I think it's the 12th of October, so I'm pretty excited for that. That's it.
Sweet. Yeah, yep.
That's it?
Yep, that's it.
Whoa.
There's no new trailers. It's just that me and Razor were actually fans of this game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, be still my beating boner. It looks fucking fantastic.
I still
And-
have a semi for it.
What?
I still have a semi for it.
Only a semi.
Yes, I'm just waiting for more gameplay.
Well, don't forget,
Come
he's
on,
far
man, you
away.
gotta-
He's in England.
Come on, you got to be like your good buddy Marcus PSP and step your game up. Come on.
Oh, Marcus PSP. Ugh.
Where did that guy go, huh? Remember when Sony made a big deal out of him at E3 2010? and how he was going to be the face of the company going forward. I think they buried him in a ditch somewhere.
He's probably buried in the back of some crummy bar in New Mexico.
Hopefully, he's buried with all the copies of ET in the desert.
That's what they do.
They built his coffin out of him.
Dude, that's where I want to think that all the bad people in the gaming world get to go to. That's like the bad gaming people graveyard. You just go to the pile of ET games, and that's where your remains remain.
See, I figure the Yakuza would hang you by your toes, like over. He's like, see all them fucking games down there? That's gonna be you.
Why did you suddenly get a Norwegian accent?
I don't know. It kind of.
I don't know. I thought that you sounded like you were from Boston when you did that.
Like Boston. Uh-oh.
He was
Uh-oh.
in
You
Boston?
can start up all these people that are going to be asking questions down below. Is like, where in the fuck is this guy from?
Yeah, well, they want to know what race are you? Where are you from? What are you? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I like that one. I am male.
He's one of the kings of Numenor.
I'm one of the guys who possibly cybered with your mom in the late 90s. Anyway, well, that's all we have to say about the Dishonored release date, isn't it? Or are you guys going to wax some more?
No, I'll tell you what. I'll post the link to the trailer again down in the description box, so you can actually check it out
All
and
right,
see
that's
why
very
we're all
generous.
excited.
All right, well, then we move on. You know, see, this could have been a full-blown episode of Fanboy Wars right here, but it just didn't work out. What happened? You guys,
What did that
you
have
guys
to do with
losing your
anything?
step, man.
What?
Yeah, they want it to be a regular feature, apparently. Well,
I know they were busting my chops on the webcast I did on Friday.
yeah, they're busting your chop.
Saying, how come there's no more Fanboy Wars? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they're finally becoming friends. I don't know. I don't really have a theory about it just yet, but you know, maybe we'll
They're
have
finding
more.
things that they mutually hate.
Wait till
This-
MagFest.
Yeah, Fanboy Wars is kind of like that segment on Saturday Night Live, the ambiguously gay duo. You know, they only would show up every couple of weeks. One of those interstitial programs.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I made a terrible inference there, didn't I? I am terribly sorry.
You
We're
sh-
classier than that on the Hate Bit podcast.
it's a shame
make
you're
it
not.
I was not.
All right. Our next segment. Oh, you know, we've already kind of delved into this, but I guess we can finish it. The Assassin's Creed 3 trailer. Resume.
It was the gameplay trailer that they released this week, and to be honest, it looks as uninspiring as it ever did. One of the things I'm a bit pissed off about is the hidden blade. Now, the hidden blade is an iconic piece of Assassin's Creed tradition, really. You know, Altair had a hidden blade. Ezio's had a hidden blade. Now, and then he got upgraded to 2, and one with a fucking hook and a gun. It was like a fucking Batman utility belt on your wrist. But now, this one that Connor has got, you know, the half British, half Red Indian, he's got the hidden blade, but then it's got a hinge on it which turns it into a fucking dagger. What is the point? Besides the fucking pointy end of that. And then he's walking around with a little axe, which is actually quite a nice axe, I will say that.
Well, the axe makes sense for the time period and considering his background heritage. So that much I can say that passes.
That
for
works
that.
for me too. But the fact that they've this hidden blade, the hidden blade, I just can't get my head around it. Why they've done that?
Yeah. It does look like more revisionist history, though. Don't you love how in like movies and games and whatever, it's always like Indians are always like peace loving, you know, they smoke the peace pipe and they're just
They're just misunderstood.
they're just trying to live at one with nature, even though in real life they had deforested most of New England by the time white settlers showed up there, and they were at war with each other.
Well, on
like,
top of the fact that the settlers wouldn't have been able to do anything had they not deforested the area.
Yeah, it's true.
No fucking white man could swing an axe enough to clear that fucking region.
I know,
Not without the Union.
but it is.
The Teamsters, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Razor. Go on. You were saying.
But like, anyways, it just looks kind of sterile, and I'm interested in it being a new setting, and I'm interested in how the parkour mechanics work with trees and the like. But That's about as far as it goes with me. Hearing that there's going to be more Desmond than ever in the game is a huge boner killer.
I would
And-
only be remotely interested at this point if you could hit people in the face with George Washington.
Yes.
Apparently, you work for George Washington on the game.
Oh, man.
Or you could pull some shit like you could like kill George Washington and then,
That'll probably be a twist.
then Desmond would have to be the first president of the United States and then,
Dude.
we would die.
If the game's already getting like a bunch of shit as far as lawsuits go, to go and kill George Washington, that game's going to be like absolutely fucking destroyed trying to make it out the
At
days.
this point, I dare those assholes.
Yeah. And it's a Canadian game, too. And they're
Oh, no,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
French
Missiles have been
Canadian.
pointed at Canada for a while.
a French Canadian, even worse.
Yeah, because
French Canadian son of a bitch, why haven't we blown him up yet?
It's IDOS Montreal that's doing it.
Oh,
No,
man.
it's
uh,
Ubisoft
That's the
Montreal.
one. IDOS.
Ubisoft Montreal.
Yep,
Great. So, diet Ubisoft.
Yeah.
basically.
Well, that just ends us on a total note of sadness, depression, regret, much like many proms. But anyway, we move on with the rest of our show. This will definitely pick up Razor Fist sales. PlayStation sales figures have been announced. Sainted Magazine has the grim duty of delivering this news to you folks. Sainted?
Oh, 1 minute. Let me just pull up my website. The
Yeah.
good old IGN. Ugh, I had to.
No, I've got it. They're basically saying that a lot of the ill effects that Sony's feeling right now are the result of the East Japan earthquake, and that it lost. And this is huge. This blows me away. They lost apparently as a result of that earthquake, or at least this is their estimate, was $6.4 billion in losses from that. Just that one.
Wait. In the year ending 2011?
Yeah.
The Sony Corporation or the PlayStation arm?
Sony in general.
$6 billion?
$6.5 billion. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, and that's what blows me away. Like, a lot of people will say,
my God, is that like 7 trillion yen?
No. 80
Something like that?
Yeah,
800.
It's that new number we invented. It's 8 dillion.
Jillion. I think there already is a dillion designation.
But anyways, so I mean that's what blows me away. A lot of people will point to, because PlayStation isn't doing that well and hasn't been for a while. They'll say, well, that's only one small part of their profit model, but actually it's the rest of their electronics division that's doing really bad. PlayStation's doing relatively meager losses by comparison. It's that Saint, I think they talk about the television division in there a little bit.
Yeah, they actually, because as we know, they've dropped the LCD sales have actually slowed down something significant. They haven't actually included the figures of the LCD thing on this report, but they were emphasising on the PS2 and the PSP, for example, that they'd made losses on. People weren't buying as many units. For example, I'm going to go off the PSP units that they've sold. Last year, they had 8 million units sold from 2000. I think, yeah, it was March 2011 till April 2011 till March 2012.
Yeah.
This year they've sold 6.4 million units. No, 6.8 million units of PSPs. Now, you got to bear in mind that the PlayStation Vita was in development and it was coming out that following year. So they can't really blame us for not buying the PSP. And the PS2 still making
Sure they
sales.
can. Fuck you consumer assholes.
But they're still selling the PS2. They sold
Yeah,
the year
which is
before.
amazing, and that needs to be pointed out in this. the mere fact that the PS2 is still on the market and that there's still a demand for it is a testament to how amazingly successful the PS2 was.
Yeah, well, 6.4
Or to
million
how
units.
poor the PS3 is, huh?
Yeah, you're trying to start a fucking fight here, you aren't you?
Well, it also he's actually there's a granule of truth in there because if the PS3 still had backwards compatibility with the PS2, I doubt they'd be selling that many PS2s
So
today.
it was either
in tough
a bad.
times, why compete against yourself?
So in retrospect, it was a good business decision that they took out the backwards compatibility out of the PS3.
Sure, but it made them look like assholes in the process.
Well,
Because it was an asshole move.
It was an asshole move.
they are assholes. I'll be the first.
Assholes for everyone.
Yeah.
They're the assholes who couldn't figure out why Beta and Minidisc just didn't do it.
No, I think this is where Yellkaos is supposed to drop the front of his helmet and shout, "Keep firing, assholes!"
He's a bit bog-eyed. Oh, but
Never have that damn thing down in front of me. I can't tell if you're making faces at me in there.
Yes, I fucking love that movie.
oh yes,
That's
we'll
all
have to
I'm
watch Spaceballs later.
But what do we draw from this? I mean, is Sony going to be okay, Sainted?
Sony are going to be okay, but they're trying to say that we've overprojected is what they've basically done.
Well, that's what everyone did. Everyone thought that growth was just going to continue further and further and further up the spiral.
The thing is, everybody's
in a
actually
down market.
everybody's lost a significant amount of money for the most part within the gaming division year over year over year. I mean, this isn't really anything new. It's kind of how things are. So
Yeah, it's just a shame that it's happening now when the world is still in a recession. So it's about time they got fucking a taste of it. Now, blaming the Japan earthquake, a lot of people fucking died during that.
Yeah.
A lot of, there was a lot of shit happening around about that time, and for them to blame the earthquake and everything on their losses is just, to be quite honest, fucking wrong.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't say that it's wrong. There is truth to it. It's not like they're
absolutely.
saying that it's the absolute be all end all reasoning behind the losses, but it does have
But
some
they
kind
are
of
playing the
impact on
sympathy
their
card.
sales.
They are,
They are
yeah,
definitely
exactly.
playing
That's the best way of putting it.
Well,
They
just
are.
you look at right after September 11th, the few years after that, New York kind of had a little bit of trouble, politically and money moving around and so on. And people looked at Giuliani, and Giuliani said, "Well, I just have to tell you, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11."
Yeah.
That's what any major force in any capacity does. Well, something horrible happened that apparently had nothing to do with us, so we feel bad, and you should feel
Yeah.
bad for us.
What blows me away is that and this does not instill confidence. If I were a stockholder in Sony, this would worry the fuck out of me. That Kaz Hirai was promoted to head of the PlayStation division. This is the $599 guy, the guy who is the punchline of the internet, essentially. The guy who said $999, the Ridge Racer guy from E3 2006. This is the head of PlayStation right now.
Yeah, I've not really had much. I don't really have much confidence in Kaz Hirai, to be quite honest.
Yeah, you shouldn't. He's a boob. He makes. What was the guy that ran it before? Ken Katagi, something like that.
He was about as bright.
And he's a Japanese boob, so he's not much of a boob at that.
He's a fat
Oh, he's more of a handful. Little
Well, I don't know.
apple.
Ever since McDonald's went to Japan, Japanese boobs have been increasing exponentially.
It's the hormones we put in the milk.
It is, and yeah.
I could always take this conversation south and then start talking about nipple cocks. Anyone?
What?
No, no
For
takers. All right.
For those of you that weren't here, you guys don't hear what goes on before the podcast, but Alpha Omegason made some very explicit remarks about China and Stone Cold from WWE and something about the clit dick.
Oh yeah. For anybody who's wondering, China, the wrestler, she kind of looks like she should have taken Hulk's place on the Avengers. Well, if you take China and then the wrestler known as X-Pac, Six-Pac, the 1-2-3 Kid, well, they had a porn video together, and it looked like that she should have been fucking him from behind because her clit basically could flex and turn into a cock all on its own. It's frightening.
yeah.
And it even made the sound.
Oh yeah.
Triple H, X-Pac, suck on my 3-inch clit dick.
Oh no.
And then something Bronco Buster.
Oh God!
How did we descend into this?
Because
we
I
not
brought up
descend
nipple
into it
cocks,
earlier?
so naturally China seems like a good way to respond.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. Clit dick.
Lit dick and nipple cocks. You
Oh,
heard
by
it
the
here.
way, $6.5 billion is 520 billion yen.
Wow.
Whoa!
That's
Whoa.
a lot of numbers.
You know what? I'd love to find out the figures of how much the gaming industry has lost this past year.
Oh, you'd shit in your pants if you actually saw it. And good. Fuck them.
Yeah, because to be quite honest, the whole world's been in a recession. It's about time the gaming industry
It's
has.
about time they fucking felt it.
Exactly. Now, as we know,
Now, that means
a
that
lot.
we might be out of jobs soon, though. So
Exactly.
Oh no, we won't ever be. Wanna know why? Because there's always retro gaming. Something I'll
Well,
always stick
on
by.
top-
Oh yeah.
on top of the fact that, pretty soon the indie developers are going to get too big for their bridges, and then we can take them down a peg. It'll be a much
Yeah.
shorter hill to climb, but we'll
Oh wait,
do it
you
anyway.
mean like the people at what is it, Rovio, however you say their names, the makers of Angry Birds, that brag about their downloads? And it's like, wow, you've been downloaded that many times on Android, where it's free. Way to fucking go, shitbag. Your game was
Hey!
downloaded. I guess that Nintendo should fucking go and pat themselves on the back every time that somebody downloaded a free ROM of Super Mario Brothers, you fucking idiots. It's
Yeah,
free, no shit. When something's free, everybody will take it, even if it's fucking garbage, because it's
Yeah.
free. You can just
How much
delete
did
it later.
how much did
You
that
can't
bandwidth
brag.
cost you?
Yeah. Is it like it's like Cindy Margolis bragging that she was the most downloaded woman in the late '90s? Remember that?
Oh god. Right, so I'm just going to finish off Sony for a minute.
Oh, we need to talk about Sony. Go ahead.
No, well,
Are you gonna finish off on them?
I'm going to no, I'm going to finish off what I was going to say with Sony.
Shazam!
Yeah, Shazam. Right. Let's get
Hi-oh!
Can I get my fucking point across? This is every fucking podcast for you three. No, two, technically. Two. Because Alpha actually waits.
I try.
Yeah, well, guys who wait don't become tag team champions, so shut up.
Okay.
Exactly. And we have to get you back for putting that tax on our breakfast beverage. Mr.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to finish off Sony, it's about time they got slapped in the ass with losses because all video game companies, Xbox are just as fucking guilty. They need to actually feel that the world's in a recession and it's not just all about we're going to sell consoles and fuck everybody else with a high price. We're going to charge a high price.
Well, the other thing I have to ask of just not just Sony but all of them is how much longer did you think this was going to last?
I know. We've just had
Well,
another
remember
renaissance,
when they said it was
basically.
recession proof? That the entire
They did
gaming
say that,
industry
didn't
was
they?
recession proof.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
And it was
Just-
mostly like publicists and whatnot that were saying stuff like that.
I mean,
Some publishers would try tooting that horn, but that's impossible. Nothing is recession proof, and especially at here in the U.S., it's $60 a pop per new game. That's
Yeah.
not recession proof. That's actually that's a fucking 12-hour game. How's that recession proof?
well, the recession started when? It's kind of agreed it started in 2007, end of 2006, something like that. So,
Something like that, yeah.
and they had record profits in 2007, so of course they felt like they were on top of the world. But the thing is, that was because there was a shitload of product in 2007.
Yeah.
There hasn't been anywhere near that much, and the industry has done everything it possibly could to shoot itself in the foot and make themselves look like bumbling, bungling, drooling fucking morons every single day since. Look at 2008. What a terrible year for gaming that was.
Oh yeah.
Just atrocious. There was nothing worth playing in 2008. 2009 wasn't much better. 2010 was pretty bad too. They had the worst selling in terms of retail sales. They had the worst sales I think for April of 2010 in years. It like set records in terms of how badly it sold. And the best-selling game that month, just to give you some perspective, was fucking Splinter Cell Conviction. So what does that tell you? And I mean, there's just nothing to play. There was nothing to
The
play.
better question is, how did this news not register until just now? It seems like they started, enacting those anti-recession measures about 4 or 5 years into the game. I mean, it didn't seem like until 2010 where they really decided they're going to make some changes. But it is an
Yeah.
interesting marketing tactic to, if you want to reduce your losses, to fucking declare all-out war on your audience.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
changing your course after you've already crashed into the fucking iceberg, is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, here's one thing. Here's one statement that made me laugh. They blame the fans. They blame the consumers for
Yeah,
their loss
I'm
absolutely.
glad you brought that up.
because
Mhm.
they seem to blame the consumer for everything that's fucking wrong with the gaming industry today. They
Yeah.
blame us for buying used games when to be quite honest, not a lot of us have got a lot of money, so
Mhm.
we depend on buying used games.
Well, we're being green, dickheads.
That too.
You want to know what I seriously went over all this shit about talking about the whole $60 games thing might actually change with the next gen rumor, obviously, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
You
it'll be
can't-
70.
You can't keep the $60 price tag because just look at last gen. You were crushing last gen, and nobody can sit there and fucking tell me, well, look at Call of Duty, big fucking whoop, one fucking game by comparison to an entire generation's worth of games.
Exactly.
There is a big fucking difference there. And I can already tell you this much. If Call of Duty is selling so fucking much at $60 a price tag, for those games specifically, they'd be selling a lot more at 50. And you might say, well, that's only $10. Well, you know what? Not everybody's fucking filthy rich, and $10 does mean something to somebody's wallet. So
Well,
I say
hold
go
on.
for
Let's
40.
put this
and
into
epic.
perspective. Put this into perspective for 1 point. Think about what you get for a $60 game. Sure, they spent money to pay people to make it, but games are a little more expensive now because they're so cinematic. But think about what the average game costs. Then think of what it costs to produce the game. It's a fucking disc with a fucking plastic case with a fucking half a very thin piece of paper for the cover and half an
The same.
instruction manual.
It's not even a fucking instruction manual. It's a pamphlet that you find down at the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
give
what you
you a
get is a
fucking
fucking
pamphlet.
pamphlet.
And that's $60. Now think about this. Take yourself back, way back to when we were kids. The Sega Master System, the Nintendo NES. Those, on average, I remember those games. I found a receipt in one of my old games, and my dad bought NES Ice Hockey for $55 in 1986
That's
or
like
87.
$90 in
Okay.
today's money.
In today's money, that is $107.89.
Wow.
And those games cost about $40 to make, just to produce the cartridge, because EPROMs were never cheap. They're still very expensive.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it cost a lot to go and produce all those parts. One of the reasons why they want to convert to discs is that it was just cheaper all around. One of the things that Nintendo was fucking kicking themselves for whenever they went with the Nintendo 64 cartridges. But the thing is, it is cheaper than all hell to go and produce a disc. And, look at the handheld market to go and make those little flash card type games.
It's an
You
SD
can mass
chip. That's
produce
all it
those
is.
for a pretty decent price now too. They don't cost an arm and a leg. And if anybody's going to sit there and fucking say, yeah, but some games cost like $1 million. Well, no shit. Look at the movie industry. It's $9, at least here, $9 to get into a fucking movie, okay? The Avengers, I know it cost them a buttload of money to make, but I spent $9 to go see the fucking Avengers. And guess what? That movie made, I don't even know how much money. It like piles of millions and millions everywhere because it's breaking records and shit. And you're going to tell me that, look at that. That cost more to make that movie and pay those actors and everything. That game's way fucking cheaper, but costs a lot more. What? That doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, think about this. And here's the thing that this is the economic lesson that I'm taking away from this. And this goes for anybody in the video game industry. Okay, my parents, those people that raise you up. My folks told me a long time ago that if you can't perform within your budget, well, then you just fucking plain can't do it.
Absolutely.
So it's my fault that you spent way too much money to make a game that nobody wanted?
Oh, here,
I don't understand how that's my fault.
Remember when they were saying when Revelations was about to come out, Capcom said that they were going to bring it out at $10 more because it was 4 gigabytes?
Yeah.
For their
remember
card.
that.
They tried saying, "Oh well, yeah, we use this," and it's like, what the fuck's your point? Like I don't
You're
I
talking
don't really
about a matter
give a
of
shit.
1 to 3 cents, American cents, pennies. You know, those things are not going to produce anymore.
Yeah.
About 3 of those is what it's going to take, the extra amount of material to produce that cartridge.
The thing is, they got slammed for saying this. I mean, thousands of people saying, if you're going to do that, we're not buying your game. You know what they did? They brought it out at the regular fucking price. And I'm glad because you know what? The game's fucking, it's amazing. An absolutely amazing game. I know that Huh?
Isn't it amazing? That's what you have to do. You have to essentially threaten your favorite publisher that if you do this, I'm not, and then they think it's okay to treat you right.
Yeah, that's the thing that fucking gets me. It's like none of us should ever have to get to the point where it's like, okay, let's go get like 100,000 strong for Mega Man's Legends 3. All right, let's get Operation Rainfall so we can get a fucking already English translated game brought over to the States. It's just like, why do we have to go that far? Not to say that I really mind, because I mean, if I work for it, I appreciate the product even more. But it's just asinine from a business standpoint. Like, you need this many people to fucking threaten to just cut all ties with you altogether because you're making dumb fucking decisions? What?
But that's what this generation is going to be remembered for. It's going to be the stupid fucking decisions and the stupid bloody quality of games that we've got now.
This may well be the last generation because they'll think of it as the last generation that was actually profitable.
They'll think of it as the last generation that actually had a decent fucking game to start with.
Razor Fist, you're being quiet. Stop that.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think basically the industry got itself where it is. I really don't think the recession has as much effect as the industry claims it does. I think it's basically, I liken it to WWE a little bit. WWE isn't getting bad ratings because of the recession, though they are blaming the recession for their bad ratings.
Are they really?
They absolutely are. They have been blaming.
That's fucking hilarious.
Ever since 2007, they've been blaming the recession for their bad ratings.
When times are worse economically, they watch more TV.
I know exactly. Oh, well, people can't afford cable now. But anyways, yeah, I know. But anyways, I liken it to that. You're not getting bad ratings because of a recession. You're getting bad ratings because you've got a product nobody wants to buy. And I'd say since about 2008, there hasn't been much worth buying. Like I said, in all of 2011, I bought exactly 1 game. In all of 2010, I bought exactly 2 games. In all of 2009, I think I got 4. It's just been shrinking and tapering off gradually because there's so little worth fucking playing.
Agreed.
No, I mean, think of what had to be done. This generation was basically on the skids and on its way out. Nintendo had to take a massive gamble and say, hey, here's the new console generation, which no one was ready for. And that seems to be the only thing that's really sparked any interest in this industry in the last half a year.
Well, I mean, new hardware always does that.
Always.
Like, anytime that you drop new hardware, it's exciting. Like, no matter what, even if it's something that people don't give a shit about, it's going to make waves somewhere.
I think so, but in my opinion, the PlayStation 3 and the Wii have never done exactly what they said they were going to. And let's face it, the Xbox is an aging machine.
It is an aging machine. It's been out near, what was it, 7 years?
Yeah. It came out, and it's this old hardware that, has... Luckily for the Xbox I will defend in that it has done everything they said it was going to do, up to and including spying in your house.
You want to? I'll actually give it a lot of credit that most people won't be for one major reason. Look at the original Xbox, and then look at the Xbox 360. Not to go and fucking say I'm dogging the fucking original Xbox, because I'm not. But that was their, we're coming into the scene, and, they had a lot of hiccups and trips and everything, and they fucked up. I mean, the biggest fuck up for Microsoft, really, on the 360, and the only one that I can really attest to them that killed it for a lot of fans is Red Ring of Death.
Yeah.
That's overall, they did a remarkable job.
Yeah, and that's a hardware thing, and I'll say to the end of my fucking days that I think a lot of the Red Ring of Death was exacerbated by the fact that because of the falling economy, because of how shitty the economy is, a lot of people were buying used systems. And because a lot of people were buying used systems, a lot of people were buying used systems from GameStop. And as somebody who used to work at GameStop, I can tell you right to your face, GameStop does not refurb Xbox 360s that Red Ring. They futz with it until it turns on, and then they turn around and sell it for full price. They don't refurbish these systems. So if you bought a used 360 and it got a Red Ring of Death, don't be pissed at Microsoft, because they were supposed to swap that out for a Jasper motherboard. That wasn't Microsoft's job. That was actually GameStop's that got fucked up.
See,
I will, to the end of my
I
days,
thought it
I'll
was a
say that
marketing
was a big
gimmick.
part of it. So what?
I just thought it was a way for them to cash in, like, really, because they were just like, well, look, that person's invested into us quite a bit. You know, look at their gamer card and look at the stack of games and accessories that they have for it. Yeah, you'll cough up the money and get a new system.
Yeah,
You
but
will.
look
Yeah.
at what Xbox been doing to their fucking customers recently as well. You know, just
What?
banning them for life for no justified reason.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, yeah, and that's utter bullshit. And especially considering people are paying for subscriptions to Xbox Live, which I'll still say to this day, I don't understand how they can be paying for this because they're offering now almost the exact same features as PSN. Mind you, they're way more reliable and their networks are a lot better than PSN in terms of you're not going to get kicked nearly as much and your connectivity is generally going to be.
I totally agree with that because
But I mean, is that worth paying $50 a year for
Fuck
some
no.
slightly improved connectivity?
Dude,
Serious? For
the
60
most that Xbox Live is worth, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says as far as like their fucking available content. That's $5. $5 a month is what it's worth, and that's it. Not a goddamn penny less, not a goddamn penny more. It is $5. I'd be comfortable paying that. But to go and say that it's $15 a month, you're fucking insane. I already pay an internet bill. I have an entire fucking cable bill that I have to pay so I can get all my shit online. You think I'm gonna pay an additional $15 a month? You're fucking crazy. Better be fucking tugging on my dick while I'm playing my games.
But it's ridiculous. They're clearly, they've got their profit model right now. It doesn't cost them anywhere near as much to maintain Xbox Live as they're taking it in profit. So that is just pure profit on their behalf. And look, PS3, this is one of the reasons I like the PS3. They're not, you're getting a free service, and at least that is putting pressure on Microsoft to say, hey, eventually it at least keeps the option open. Because if things get desperate enough for Microsoft, they'll make Xbox Live free as a last-ditch effort. They will.
The thing is that what I don't understand, and to this day I still don't get it, is why they don't just have a free version of it. Why don't you just have
it's called Xbox Live Silver, and you can do exactly jack shit on it.
I'm saying like they should have one that you can do stuff on that's free. I mean, Silver, I don't even remember the last time that was actually said to me, and that's not even a joke. Like Xbox Silver, I really don't even remember the last time it was brought up because it's so fucking irrelevant. The thing is, you should be able to have at least like a decent gameplay experience online. But if you want, all the bells and whistles, then sure, cough up a couple of dollars to be able to have that experience. That's absolutely understandable and fine, so long as you give me something worth my money.
Yeah, and ironically, I think PSN has the right idea here. They take their paid service and they say, okay, you can play games online for free, but if you want demos earlier, and if you want, extra DLC that only members of PSN, whatever the fuck their Advantage program is called,
PlayStation Plus.
That's right, PlayStation Plus. And like, if you want all this content that only PlayStation Plus owners can get, then go buy our service. But with Xbox Live, it's like you can either play online or you can't. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
that's one thing I actually do like about PlayStation Plus, and like if anybody who's listening is not familiar with it, the one thing I can say that's really cool about it is all the free PS1 games I've gotten because of it. I mean, I've gotten a fucking truckload. I got, let's see, I think this month they have Castlevania Symphony of Night for free.
What?
Then was it Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil Director's Cut. I have them all on my PS3. I'd have to turn it on to actually look, but it's not too shabby in that respect. But naturally, you'd have to pay for that membership. But it's if you're a retro gamer and like the old school shit, that's kind of nice. Kind of nice.
No, it's exactly right.
It's very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Wow. Alpha Omegason, somehow you lulled us into this sense of security. We all feel like, we have a security blankie and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to start talking about, like, all right, everybody.
Well, allow me to start doomsaying again. We're all fucked.
There you go. See, you gotta have somebody saying, it'll be all right, and you have to have the person saying, don't fucking listen to that guy. You're all fucked. Seriously, you're going to be on fire soon. Fire.
I know.
Burn.
Fire.
We're like Bert and Ernie, except without all the homoerotic undertones.
I was gonna say, are you Bert then?
Yes.
I was gonna say, because if that's the case, that makes me the woman, and that sucks. Because Ernie definitely is the bitch, or Bert is the man, Ernie is the bitch. That kind of sucks for me, man.
Yeah,
But
you can tell because Ernie eats cookies in the damn bed.
That's true.
Anyway, what have we got left?
Well, we're going to move on to a popular segment on our show, the Video Game Circle Jerk. We're going to tell you what games we're into. But really quick before we do that, on a personal note, I just want to say that I really think that director, filmmaker Sam Dunn is a wiener.
Yes, he sure is. He sure fucking is.
You want us to talk about metal? We're talking about metal. I think that Sam Dunn is a wiener, and all his films come off like, well, pretty. His movies might as well be called The Fanboy Diaries.
Basically.
Oh, we
This
have
guy-
He and Ian Christie, of all the metal guys, are the two biggest wieners.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's this guy, for Christ's sake, believes there's a genre called the new wave of American metal. And he lumps in Lamb of God with that genre.
Yeah.
On their best possible day, Lamb of God is a metalcore band. On their best possible day. What
On their best possible day, they're a comedy troupe. They're not a fucking rock band.
Watch out, I think Sainted likes them, doesn't he?
I like some
That's
of
his
them
fucking
music, but I
problem.
prefer Arch Enemy.
Well, what I say about Lamb of God is I have one of their DVDs called Philadelphia, and the little parts of them talking in between the songs are 100,000 times more interesting than the actual music they play on stage.
Fair play.
And that's just them drinking wine, smoking cigars, and talking about how they hate each other's mothers.
Yeah. I just don't understand how a band that just sounds like a hardcore band, essentially, is lumped in with metal. I don't get it at all.
Oh, yeah, apparently they're a
solos?
progressive death metal band, I've heard.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Wait. Who said it was progressive death metal?
I have seen that on a number of things, referring to them as a progressive death metal band. Like,
I will
okay,
fuck everything they enjoy for saying that. I don't care what it
well-
is. It could be pastries. It could be fucking random places they like to go to. I'll have sex with it just to make sure I tarnish everything that they like. Fuck them.
well, I will
Progressive
say
death
that,
metal.
I will say this about Lamb of God. I watched a documentary on YouTube a few months ago. In fact, you kids, after you get done listening to the podcast, you go ahead and punch it in your YouTube search bar. It's called "Why You Do This." It's a documentary of some guy from some band wondering why he continues to try and tour and play music for a living. Anyway, towards the end of the movie, there's an interview with Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, and he tells a story of his mother-in-law watching him do his job, which is be a rock and roll singer. And he talked about when all the kids were doing what they call in hardcore circles the brave heart, which is where one half of the club goes this way, one half of the club goes this way, and then they run as fast as they can right into each other. You guys have seen that, I assume.
I've been involved in one of them things.
Yeah, I've seen it. You can get killed doing that.
Yeah,
And his
it
mother-in-law-
does fucking hurt.
Yeah. His mother-in-law, well, you're light in the ass to really get in that sort of thing, man. Can I recommend you go into the wading pool first?
Yes.
No.
But anyway, his mother-in-law asked his wife, says, "Why are those people doing that?" Speaking in Chinese, of course. I guess his wife is from China. And he says,
Sorry,
because-
Chinese or Japanese?
I think either one of them's.
but they
and,
all love propane.
And they love propane. Special guest, Hank Hill.
I'll tell you what. Anyways.
Yep. Anyway, so...
Damn it, Bobby.
So his mother-in-law asks, "Why are they all doing that?" And his wife says, "Well, because Randy told them to." And confused, his mother-in-law says, "Well, why in the hell would they listen to him?" Anyway, that's the end of the story.
I can understand where she's coming from because the lead singer of that band is a gibbering fucking retard.
Oh yeah, she doesn't realize. I mean, I was like, this dickhead. My daughter married this.
I know, right? I like this woman already.
1 billion Chinese men. She married redneck from Virginia. Anyway.
Anyway, that kind of sunk in the fucking.
It did,
Pool
I
of
know. That's why we're going to
obscurity.
pick it up with the video game Circle Jerk. The video game Circle Jerk is the part of our show where we like to tell you what we're playing and what we're not playing and why we love it, why we hate it, and so on and so forth. So, who's up first on the video game Circle Jerk?
You.
Me?
Oh, what?
Oh, you hurt Razor Fist's feelings. I think Razor Fist has to go first.
Razor Fist went first on the intro. It's your turn.
I know, but you see how sad he was just then? If he gets sad, that means that he'll leave the podcast and no
It's
one
true.
will hate
It's-
it anymore.
It's true. I'm cutting myself already. It's
See?
Okay,
Razor
then.
Fist, please, go first. I think you...
Just don't bleed on the microphone.
Just don't
Yeah.
bleed on the mic.
I'm not making any promises.
Don't make any mess on the floor now.
I've been playing through 2 games simultaneously. I've been playing through Sniper Elite V2, whatever the fuck it's called, and I've been playing through The Witcher 2. So yeah, that The Witcher 2 I just finished last night. I'm going through a second time because it's one of those games where you really don't have a overall opinion of it until you play the whole thing. It's kind of like Mass Effect, you have to play through it more than once or else you don't really have a full picture of the game, basically. So, anyways, it's pretty badass. I'm gonna do a review on it, so whatever, you can get more information from there, I guess. And fucking Sniper Elite is badass. I really, really am enjoying Sniper Elite. The stealth can be really fucking touchy, but it's a damn good game, and there's nothing like shooting a dude in the nads and actually seeing his testicles burst at the impact of the bullet in X-ray vision. That's pretty fucking cool. So I love the game. I think it's fantastic. I'm not as far in that as I am in Witcher, though. So, I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
So who the
Nobody
fuck?
made any references towards like nutcrackers, ball busters, blue balls, nothing, no testicle jokes. I mean, he was talking
Nothing.
about exploding testes.
We're not drunk
Nope.
yet.
Damn it.
Well, maybe you're not.
I don't know. I've had 3.
You've had 3. Oh, you start sounding like Dean Martinson. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Right, your
Well, Alpha Omega Sin, what are you playing?
The past 2 days I've been playing stacks of Nintendo games that I just never played because I got them and just never played them because I got them in lots, like just big boxes of them. And yesterday, have any of you guys had an experience with the Predator game on Nintendo?
never.
Yes.
All right, that game's a pile of shit.
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense. Arnold Schwarzenegger's wearing pink pants and running around fighting glowing scorpions and these moving rocks. I don't know what the fuck they're supposed to be. And the game has like wretched fucking control in every single way. I couldn't figure out my way through it. But I
was
was
an
drinking
LGN
rum,
game,
so I
wasn't
kept
it?
on playing it anyway. Wait, what?
It was an LJN game, wasn't it?
I don't know. I saw Arnold on it and he was shooting shit and I was like, that looks cool. But then it brought back the whole thing of Rambo. I was like, wait, I'm not going to be shooting, am I? No, I'm just going to be running around fucking
No.
punching things in the cunt. But yeah,
Yes.
besides,
Which is not a bad time.
yeah, I mean, cunt punching with Arnold, and the Austrian death machine playing. I should have that playing, by the way. But the game's fucking crap. I'm trying to think what all else did I play yesterday? I don't know. I was playing a whole stack of them. It literally just random ass games. Almost all of them were fucking horrible, which was funny. And besides that, the legitimate games that I was playing that I actually give a crap about, I'm still playing through Tales of Grace's F. That fucking might taking forever in that game, and yeah, I do. I like the game quite a bit, and I was also going and telling everybody, please pick it up. But it is a good game, so you should pick it up. Beyond that, Binary Domain, because nobody fucking cared about it whatsoever, according to Sega's sales statistics. But it's not a bad game. Legitimately, you really should at least give it a shot, even if you're just going to rent it from Redbox or fucking GameFly or some crap.
So long as you're feeling charitable, Alpha, why don't you go play the Conduit while you're at it? Some games.
The Conduit, I've actually wanted to play it because I heard some good things about it, but yeah, I just never got my hands on it.
It's pretty cheap. I got my copy pretty cheap. I think mine was about £7. So
Yeah, it's only a couple dollars everywhere I've seen it. My brother's got it. It's just I don't have a Nintendo Wii here whatsoever. I lent it to a friend, and he's had it for
That-
like months.
Wasn't that game part of like the vain attempt on Wii's part to try and reconnect with the hardcore gamers they had lifted the finger at 2 years before?
Sort of. What's kind of
Pretty
ironic
much.
is with the early impressions everybody had of that game, they really needed a publisher, and everybody was like, Nintendo's going to pick it up shortly because this game is like fucking gold, apparently. And Nintendo said no. And then they were like, we still have no publisher. Uh-oh. And Sega swooped in and fixed that. And then they rushed out to Conduit 2 and apparently fucked that into the dirt.
well, Conduit 1 is a superior game to Conduit 2, so it's pretty much the sequel syndrome.
Oh, also, I started playing some of the Game Boy games that I got, and some of them were pretty good because I never played many of the Game Boy adaptations of the stuff, and I have to admit, probably out of the bunch that I played, the best one would either be Quirk or Fall of the Foot Clan, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. The rest of them, not too bad, but I like those two the most so far. So, yeah, Game Boy for the win. Oh, and I was playing on Super Game Boy because I don't have any batteries here. So, boo.
No, you're poor. You haven't got the lifetime supply of batteries like we used
But
to.
Oh,
you
wait,
see what
no.
fucking
You
batteries
gotta
cost?
remember,
I know.
according to everybody, I'm insanely rich because of the wall of games behind me. They're like, I've said that a couple times. People are like, look at all the games behind you. You have to have lots of money. It's like, I've been collecting games since 1997.
That's funny. I get that same bullshit. They're like, oh, you must have a lot of money with all those games. I'm like, yeah, I bought all this yesterday.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just like, you realize that I scrape together change and stuff. Like, I still have to go and pay off games like gradually. Like, I'm only up to $15 on paying off Lollipop Chainsaw because that's all I could fucking
Hey,
afford.
man, you're lucky gamer girls aren't fucking like materialistic. Otherwise, you wouldn't be getting no pussy at MagFest 2013.
I don't know, man. Most gamer girls, if they're true gamer girls, they'd walk in here and instantly orgasm. I wouldn't even have to lift a finger. I'd be like,
That's
"Fan-
very true. That's very true.
in
See, they'd
general,
orgasm
yeah,
and then leave because they got what they needed.
Oh.
They're practical people, you know.
I don't know. I can accept that.
Yeah. Oh, I would also like to. Sorry, I feel like after Yellkaos made his little remark, I feel like I didn't make an attempt at a joke. I would just like to say that The Witcher 2 has more tits than a South African aviary. Continuing on.
Yes, in fact, they're going to cover it in next month's National Geographic.
Jesus fucking Christ! There are so many. You know the main female protagonist, whatever, Triss Marigold. You know she was in an issue of Polish Playboy. They actually published a video game character as a full-page spread.
I was gonna say, but they did that with Blood Rain.
Did they?
Yeah.
What Playboy was it? It was a
I don't
European
know.
one. I
Actually, if anybody wants, I don't know if you guys feel like doing it right now, but just Google Blood Rain and then Playboy. It should
assume. Oh
come
my
up.
god.
But yeah, I'm dead serious. And for everybody listening at home, if you're familiar with the Blood Rain games at all, yes, they actually have a video game character in there. And quite frankly, I find that baffling that we haven't had it. We had Blood Rain in there, but we haven't had Chun-Li, Bayonetta, Tifa, fucking Lockhart. And not to say it's like, damn it, I need these to happen, but it's just kind of weird that Blood Rain.
Fuck,
Why is it-
Tifa, like single-handedly, you can't even type the name Tifa into a Google search bar.
You put in.
Oh
the,
yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure that semen comes out of the fucking like search bar once you. Hit
I know,
it.
it'll
It's just,
take out your-
ooze.
Seriously. It'll fucking shoot out of
and
the
you got to be careful if you are typing in this stuff. I'll warn everybody: if you type in any of the stuff I'm talking about, for the love of fuck, don't click on anything that's like Roll 34, because you'll eventually come across like, I don't know, transgendered versions of those characters, like Tifa Lockhart with like a gigantic boner, and it's like her limit break all of a sudden. It's like, you better run, Cloud. You better run. You're wearing the dress this time. Remember that.
Oh shit.
he gets
Well-
the strap on anyway, so it don't matter.
Am I the only one that thinks this sounds like one of those Polish jokes?
Yeah.
You know, a Polish Playboy, they put out a picture of a video game character. They did that right after they built the submarine with the screen door in it. Anyway.
But it is pretty fucked up. That, you know what? That's something that we should make into a topic for next time, is talking about like perversion in video games.
I think
That's
we
practically
could
half the
devote an
Japanese
entire.
market.
Dude, we
I
could
know.
seriously
We don't
make
wanna
that like
we don't
entire
wanna-
like second half of our show. Like if
The
we do
Witcher
next
2,
week.
man. The Witcher 2 is just an orgy. The whole
I've
fucking
heard
game.
that it's just like titties ahoy, like everywhere. It's like welcome to titty
Titties ahoy!
It opens with titties and it closes with titties, and it's not just titties too. It's you see a lot of stench trench as well.
Please tune in next week for our very special 8-Bit podcast special, Japanese gaming and perversion. Titties ahoy!
All right, everybody, I hope that you heard what he called the female southern region, the stench trench. So everybody, please register that into your brain for whenever you're trying to use some kind of creative slang when
Yeah,
you're going
and
and
it
on a
really-
bitch's fucking her junk. Yeah, it's the stench trench. There you go. And make sure to thank Razor Fist for that, by the way, because if you don't, you're an asshole.
Yeah, so what you do is you take your smile driver in your hand and
Oh,
you seek out
God.
the stench trench.
My favorite thing about the stench trench as a title for the female vag is that it lends itself quite easily to World War I metaphors, and I've found it to be an evergreen spring.
You know, I just keep on thinking about a bunch of necrophilia now when you say that. That's all that comes to mind.
Are we finished?
You know,
with-
this we probably have one of the most disgusting podcasts ever.
You think?
Dude, I'm proud of that personally. That's
You realize that there are high school kids who are staying up after their parents told them to go to sleep, listening to this, thinking, "My mom will fucking kill me if she hears me listening to this."
she'll kill me once she hears busting some fucking nuts on slags stench trenches. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking love it, man.
Hi, honey. What'd you do at school today? I was banging random slags in the stench trench with
Yes!
my smile driver.
Yes, we got it in.
Yes.
See,
Sorry,
that's how it needs to be.
That was
so yeah.
that was a hat trick just then.
And
Yeah.
and I want all of you at home listening to know if you use any of the terminology on here that we use, please at least show some proper love. Like I heard on the 8-Bit podcast, you may not
But
like
don't
them.
forget, you might
but
be
you'll
subject to
fucking laugh at what
deportation.
they say.
You may be
Oh.
subject to deportation if that's the case. Anyway, let's wrap up the video game circle jerk. Ah,
Hang on a
Yellkaos.
minute. Hang on
What?
a minute.
What do you want?
I've not even said what I'm fucking playing yet, you.
Well, we wanted you to end it. You always have something really brilliant to say. I was giving you the headlining slot, dick.
Well, you didn't give me
Oh,
that.
headlining slot, the stench trench.
Woo! Right, anyway. What I've been playing, I have not been.
No. Because if I do it, let me do it first. Because you got a big one. I know. Let me just say, I've been playing Zelda. Go on.
I've got even bigger than that. I've been playing Zelda on the Wii.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. With
You doing
most.
Twilight Princess still?
Yeah, still on Twilight Princess.
Okay, well, tell us about it.
It's actually not that bad. A lot of people have been saying that, oh, it's too repetitive with the wolf sections. I like the wolf sections because it gives a nice welcome change to actually playing the game as Link all the time.
Well, it reminds me of like in A Link to the Past where you're in the dark world with the bunny.
Yeah, I love that section. That was fun. It's like you go into Dark World and then suddenly you're a bunny and you're like, what the fuck? How's that happened? And you have to get this special item that negates the whole fact that you turn into a bloody bunny rabbit when you go into Dark World. And
But anyway, go on with the wolf.
with the wolf sections, they're quite good because they make you think outside of the box. It's like, hang on, I can only go this certain way as Link in human form, but I can go this way as Link in wolf form, and I like that mechanic. I've not found Zelda yet, but I'm sure she's the Twilight Princess in this game. Don't tell me, no spoilers, but
I won't tell you. We won't tell you. Don't even read the comments section because they're going to try and spoil it for you because they're dicks like that sometimes.
yeah, I don't know, and I'll tell them in the answers video if they do. But the one thing I do dislike about it is the fact that it is motion control, and yes, it should be just a GameCube game, period. But the one thing you do get with it that you don't get on the GameCube version is the aspect ratio. It's in 16:9 widescreen, so it's not too bad. Also, another top-notch game, and that is Final Fantasy IV Complete on the PSP. I am absolutely loving it. I can't get enough of it.
Remember when Final Fantasy was good, guys? You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Man, Miss those days.
Mm.
Dude, man, we need to break out the history books to look at that.
Oh yeah. I think
back in the day.
Back in the day where gaming information was in print.
Yes.
Back in 1994.
Yes. But playing it and never actually playing a proper version of Final Fantasy IV on the Super Nintendo, I'm happy to have actually got this in my collection, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. And I do like the whole top-down RPG style, and I'd like to try and get hold of the Super Nintendo versions. Because I don't have a US Super Nintendo, but I do have like a little device which plugs into the top of it where I can actually play US SNES games in my Super Nintendo with and I put a PAL one in the back, for the access to the lockout chip. And it's not too bad. It plays it in 60 Hz and everything, so I'm a happy man. Another game that I've started but not played much of this week because I've been busy, and that is Thief Deadly Shadows, because I picked that up in my last pickup video and popped it in last weekend and loved it. So that's pretty much what I've been playing. Passing it on to you, Mr. Chaos.
I've been playing Zelda, that's all.
That's all. So you...
Well, also I've been fiddling with this fucking Commodore VIC-20 trying to get it to power up, and it's having trouble, so that's what I've been doing all week. Not to mention, I did a couple of webcasts this week. It takes time, god damn it.
Yes, and you did, have you not paid the hamsters to actually run in the power pack of that thing?
No, well, you know what? One of them turns out was dead, and the other one has just filed for retirement. So I got to pay him a fucking pension while I find 2 replacement guys.
And the other was injured inside of Richard Gere's asshole.
Was it Richard Gere or Richard Simmons? Or was it Harvey Fierstein?
It was
Richard-
somebody.
I don't know. That's a busy hamster, if you ask me.
I know, right?
Do you ever think that, the hamsters, or when the gerbils do it, they just, they're just thinking in their heads, everybody needs somebody sometime.
Well,
just trying to
I don't
block
know.
out the...
No, if you think about it, a hamster is the perfect kind of consumer for Square Enix, because they seem to love it when people just want to walk forward eternally. They seriously just love it. Like, give them a hallway and a straight fucking line, and Square Enix will make magic.
And
We
they
just need
also
to get
don't like...
hamsters to start pressing the X button constantly, and we'll
Seriously,
pretty
they
much be able
train-
to finish the whole game.
I'm telling you, if Square Enix manages to train a hamster to press an X button, we as gamers are out of a job.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
We are fucked.
Oh, well, what are you going to do?
But I need to start getting some more 8-bit goodness myself.
You do, man. You need to do some more fucking some more Master System, man.
I'll tell you what, I've got a huge bloody drawer full of Master System games.
Then do it, man.
I'll do
Dude,
something for
And you've got a Famicom too. You have no excuses.
I could tell you a ton of fucking games that you ought to be playing right now as far as like retro goes. Hell, play Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That's
You should play
gaming goodness
Custer's
right there.
Revenge, and you should play Leisure Suit Larry. And
Oh, did you see the Kickstarter for that apparently went through and we're getting a HD remake of the original?
Oh.
Custer's Revenge?
No, on Leisure Suit Larry.
No shit, a HD Leisure Suit Larry?
Yeah, the maker said that he wanted to go back and revisit the old ones, and yeah,
Excuse
apparently
me.
the Kickstarter for that went
Oh.
through, which was pretty exciting because I never played the originals. I played the one on Xbox, and that was it.
Oh, I played the one on
Not the
Windows
newest
95.
one, the one that came out last gen.
Yeah, I know
I
the
played
one you mean.
Windows 95, man. That's... going way
Yeah, I
back.
mean they're like super duper old school stuff. I mean, I heard about them, but I just never had them. And whenever they had the one for Xbox, I fucking grabbed it up immediately. I mean, the game was okay. I didn't think it was great, but apparently a lot of fans thought it was mediocre at best by comparison to the rest of the franchise.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Hate fans, if you haven't figured it out, we're at our halftime segment where we're just going to talk about whatever, and we're going to go into the mailbag pretty soon. But anyway, please go on.
We're gonna
No,
have
it's just a Kickstarter, man.
Get started.
Yeah, Kickstarter actually fucking got that to go through, and I mean that's exciting. I'm actually glad to see Kickstarter is getting some life breathed into things that damn fucking well wouldn't have had a snowball's chance in hell of having pop up. But yeah, another Leisure Suit Larry, that'd be cool. This was technically me telling Sainted some stuff to check out, but I mean, you should pick up Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Just get a friend, sit down, go through 2-player co-op. That game's fucking amazing.
I'll have to try and find a copy of that over here because I would actually like to get hold of a US Super Nintendo and have a nice collection of US Super Nintendo games.
I was gonna say, dude, if the shipping isn't astronomical, I'd just give you one of mine.
Oh.
I've got 3. Like, I've got one regular Super Nintendo. I've got a SNES Junior, the smaller model that came with Super Mario RPG,
Oh yeah.
and I've got one extra. Like, I would just give you one. I don't really care.
No.
It would cost you a fortune.
Oh, so
I mean, to ship it, I don't know how much shipping is over there, but yeah.
I'll ask my mate. He's shipped.
You know, Alpha, I wouldn't go saying you're going to hand out stuff because then before you know it, down in the comment section, but Alpha, I would like to have things as well.
Well, here's the thing. I've been friends with Sainted for quite a while, so that's why.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you want to get stuff out of Alpha Omega Sin, you have to be his friend and his doormat.
Hell, honestly, if I had a lot of extra stuff, I really would give it away. I really don't
I
have.
understand that Alpha Omega Sin is in the market for new friends. Apparently, all his friends are a bunch of whack-ass bitches.
Yeah,
who don't
I
want to go
shit you
anywhere.
not, and
He
I know
wants
none of them
local
listen to this.
gamers.
They don't really care, except for Gordon. Gordon's cool, so yeah.
Hello, Gordon.
Jordan's cool, but if he keeps acting up, he's going to be a whack-ass bitch before you know it.
No, the rest of the friends, yeah, they kind of suck. I actually do need new friends, so damn it, yeah, people should
You
just start,
said that now.
they should just start showing up at my door now. I'm like, I'm cool. Come on, I listen to
I
metal.
just heard your heart sink just then. They're going to be people. Oh, yeah.
Just
And if you
'cause-
would like to be Alpha Omega Sin, please send your resume to hatebitpodcast@gmail.com.
And that is a serious fucking announcement.
Absolutely. And ladies, if you have any nude photos, well, we can't take those because you're all probably 12 and 13. But,
Yeah.
in fact, you know what? Disregard. No nude photos of any kind. There will be no nude photos.
Sure.
Please,
Well,
no nude photos.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, yeah, you have to be careful
Oh.
because if it's like send nude photos, all the dudes are just gonna be like, oh, don't worry, I'll just place a 360 controller over my shit, and there we go. Yeah, we'll be good friends
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
dude, I didn't realize. Oh, now I got images in my brain. I have to go shoot
And
myself
now-
in the head. Excuse me.
Yeah, and now Chris Hansen's got you on a fucking watch list. He's like,
Yeah, Chris Hansen, he's gonna ask you to take a seat, and you know the business,
would you like
and then
some
the
cook-
cops.
Yeah.
Who
Anyway,
is Chris Hansen?
Dateline NBC to get your Predator?
Yeah, you know the dude that makes all fucking middle-aged white men feel like shit, and then throws them in prison.
Well, I don't know. I don't
For
watch
being
any of
fuck-
that. But
Dude, okay, basically, if anybody here's wondering who's
is he
Chris
nearly as
Hansen,
creepy as Anderson Cooper?
No, he's not really creepy. He is really tall, like overly tall. I was really astonished. Like he's always like looming
Overly
over
tall,
them.
Like it's his fault or something. He could have cut his feet off, but no.
Yeah, just stomp after them. Stomp, 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 stomp.
Stump.
oh man.
Oh,
So this
boy.
this is the middle ground of the show. I like the middle ground because it doesn't fucking
Yeah.
matter what we talk about.
Oh,
Well, that's the best part about the show is halftime. You know, being cool, just kind of, hey man, you want to grab a slice or what? You know.
I could do with a slice of pizza.
Dude,
I
so
could do
could I.
it. Well, while you guys are thinking about pizza, let me jump into the mail. I'm gonna dump right here. At
Take a shit in a mailbag. God damn, dude, you just fucking
That's
hate
what I
us.
think your fucking letters.
Go on, you
Anyway.
go and take a dump in the mailbag and
I'm gonna take a dump in the mailbag. No,
Well, it's
our
just
feast.
because we've also called it the placenta, so you're taking a shit into a placenta, and that's just all sorts of wrong.
yeah, you're gonna get all the
Oh
girls.
my god! Do
slapping
you
your
realize how
face.
many disgusting jokes are just harboring inside that piece of information?
Oh,
Razor Fist is going to explode right now.
It's
He just
Wait,
actually already did.
He can't explode. That's gonna be a lot to clean up. We've been talking about all the different things that would have to be cleaned up before. You're talking about
So
cutting.
no dumping in the placenta bag. No dumping in the female bag. But going into the female bag.
Placenta bag.
Our next piece comes from Matt Bading or Batting. He contacted us on our Facebook. If you don't know our Facebook, you should. Facebook.com/8bitpodcast. Let me see here. Matt asked us, if you had the opportunity, what developer would you like to work for, and what game or games would you like to work on? What role would you play in the development? He also says, it's rumored from Retro Studios is working on a new Star Fox game for the Wii U. What third-party developers would you like to see work on a new main Nintendo franchise? My God, man, that was a lot of questions.
Yeah.
There were some good. I actually liked a couple of those
Yeah, there's
questions.
some good
Yeah.
questions.
Well,
in
there's
there.
some great questions. I think we can go on it for just a minute. So start at the
Yeah.
beginning. What developer would you like to work for, and what games would you like to work on? Raise your fist.
I would resurrect Looking Glass Studios from the dead, and I would work on a new Thief title. That's all. or System Shock. They also made System Shock too, so you really can't go wrong with Looking Glass Studios. They made some fucking amazing games. They made Ultima Underworld. I'd work on absolutely fucking any of those. I'd pull them from the fucking ground like a goddamn necromancer. Which, by the way, isn't in Diablo 3. Go fuck yourself, Blizzard.
Thank you. You fucking replaced it with that stupid fucking piece of shit voodoo doctor, whatever the fuck. Why? Just why? Just,
Seriously.
No.
Anyways,
Alpha Omega
yeah,
Sin, where would you
that'd
work?
be mine. Yeah.
Oh,
Moving
that's
on.
okay.
What about you, Sainted?
I would actually go with Black Box Entertainment and get them to make a fucking decent Need for Speed title.
Ooh.
Because, to be quite honest, since fucking Need for Speed Underground, or Undercover, we've just had shit fucking titles from them. I don't like the Shift series, I don't like the fact that they've done Hot Pursuit, because that was shite. I think the last good one for me was Pro Street. That is all.
Alpha Omega Sin?
I'm going to go and take a very obvious route, but this won't be very much for development. I would take over Capcom.
Yeah!
Like, I legitimately would take over Capcom.
Now,
and
would you
I'd
take
set
over an
things straight.
individual studio or just the
No,
entire
I would take
beast?
the entire fucking thing. Like, I would run it right. And everybody with any fucking ounce of common sense knows damn well that whoever's in charge needs to be fucking shot, castrated, and dragged through the fucking streets. And I would go in there and clean house with a fucking hatchet.
Well,
But,
if we're just talking about studios that we want to fucking fix, Jesus Christ, I'd take over BioWare. I'd take over fucking. Jesus Christ, there's so many once great studios.
That's the thing, dude. That's what I thought about, because I mean that.
Do you realize
that
we'd have to
question-
take over all the studios?
We'd have to take over Rare. Someone would have to take over Rare.
I'll have.
Oh, for the love of fucking God, yes.
I'll get
yes.
and Rare out of
yes.
the Avatar sweatshop.
Oh, I was gonna say,
gonna
well,
run
here, hold
Nintendo
on.
America.
If I'm taking on Capcom, Sainted's gonna take on Rare. Do you just want only BioWare?
I'll have Sega too.
I'll take BioWare. If I could get BioWare to start making good games again, Jesus Christ, that's half the battle.
Can you take Obsidian and actually shut them down?
Oh God, I'd take Obsidian and give him a budget and some leadership that isn't completely and utterly retarded, and maybe actually have a strategy for finishing games within 6 years and without 5 trillion bugs.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to take on Square Enix. Hint, hint. Or just take Squaresoft, take them away from Enix, since apparently whenever they're teamed up with Enix, they can't tell their fucking ass from a hole in the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Name somebody who can.
What about you, Chaos? What would you do?
Me, I'm taking over Nintendo of America just so I can kick Reggie Fils-Aimé really hard in his asshole.
Can you take over all of Nintendo so they can all...
You know what? I just might, but I'm also going to take the reins over some Sony Computer Entertainment America. When is the last time they pulled out anything that was really... I mean, really, let's get a fucking Jet Moto game out here already, god damn it.
I heart
Well,
Jet
they've been riding Uncharted and God of War's.
Yeah,
cock
Uncharted
for
God of
a long
War. Suck
time.
a dick, man. This was a once great company, you know, a series of development studios strung together, but a once great cooperative stable of masters at their art.
Hey,
And
we're
then
getting
Nintendo,
one
we
really
all know
good
about
thing out
that.
of them. We're getting one super duper thing. I'm pretty fucking stoked for. I don't know if anybody else cares, but the new Sly Cooper 4.
Ooh,
That's
is it
of
Jet
America?
Moto? No, it's not.
I
Moving
mean,
on.
the thing is, yeah, it's not Jet Moto, but I mean they're completely different. I'm a platforming whore, and
Oh,
Sly
I know.
Cooper's fucking.
I love Sly Cooper. I think Sly Cooper's a really great game, but
I
it's-
really didn't think that it was going to get picked up for a fourth title.
Well,
I thought it was
let's be
dead.
honest. Sly Cooper, in the terms of game mascots, he's kind of like the Brutus Beefcake of video game mascots.
That's kind of mean. He doesn't have a mullet.
Aw. So Hulk Hogan gets him addicted to drugs and sidelines his career.
and throws him off a boat. Apparently,
Doesn't he
Throws
become
him-
a born again Christian too?
they all do.
Oh, okay.
Does his hairline start at the back of his back?
I'm pretty sure it starts at the top of his ass.
Serious.
Razor Fist. Who said what about wrestlers? They either get into Jesus or what? or politics?
They either become born again Christians or they run around doing speaking engagements talking about the evils
Who
of the
said
wrestling
that?
business.
Shawn Michaels.
JR
Shawn
said
Michaels.
JR said that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what is it Jim Cornette said? That was really funny that you said. Oh,
Jim-
about Scott Hall and
Oh yeah, he said Razor Ramon's claim to fame was that he was standing in the ring when Shawn Michaels wrestled a ladder for 30 minutes.
Oh,
At least I got to hang out and watch.
It on my webcast, and it didn't come out quite the same way.
have you seen his YouTube channel though?
Who?
Razor Ramones.
He has a YouTube channel?
He does.
Yeah, last
Can
call.
fit on a screen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
last
Scott.
call-
Was it Scott Hall's last call?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
I've seen some of that stuff. Kevin Nash and fucking Sean Waltman, aka Xbox, aka I took in the ass from China. They show up on there often since those are the
Oh,
only
and the other
episodes.
rumor, God, X-Pac apparently blew Vince McMahon. That's the other nice rumor. Poor X-Pac.
I'm 150% certain of that. I don't need to know either of those individuals personally to fucking think that he reeks of somebody that would blow anybody for anything just for fun.
Forgettable wrestler and an absolutely forgettable actor.
Dude, it's so fucking obvious, like, how shit he was, because the only reason he was around and even fucking got to wrestle was because he had friends in the biz, and if you heard that motherfucker on the microphone when his voice started cracking anytime that he was, like, trying to be, like, revved up about whatever he's saying, it was like, please, just stop. Just stop
It was
right
like
now.
listening to Kirk Hammett from Metallica give a motivational speech.
Or it's
He did
like
sound like
having
an asthmatic.
Okay, listen, guys, listen. Okay, yeah.
I know it's like when you have those discussions about the greatest guitarist in the world, and there's always that one asshole in the corner who says Kirk Hammett.
Oh, Jesus.
That-
Or the Kirk Hammett versus Dave Mustaine discussion. I love that shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Is there any
my
more
only hope
questions
is that-
in that message?
I know, right? Is there any more
Yeah.
questions?
Before we do that, I just want to say that I hope that one day Dave Mustaine figures out that Metallica was 32 fucking years ago. Anyway, moving on. Then he also asks, oh, and that's what I would do. I would take over Sony Computer Entertainment and give us a fucking Jet Moto game. Anyway, he says, what third-party developers would you like to see work on a main Nintendo franchise? I'm going to say right now that I would be happy to let Sega do the next F-Zero, provided that somebody from
Yes.
EAD is overlooking the control section, because the controls are a little loose on the GameCube F-Zero game.
Hmm.
Who made the GameCube F-Zero? Was that
Sega.
Sega?
Sega made
Sega.
it.
Interesting. Well, I played it. It's good. I mean,
It's a great
I
game.
like
It's
it a
just
lot.
the controls are a little bit loose, whereas on F-Zero X the controls are very tight.
I mean, to be honest, F-Zero GX is actually my all-time favorite F-Zero. F-Zero X has my favorite soundtrack, though, like easily.
oh yeah.
Because
I've never
that
found an
soundtrack,
arcade cabinet that actually worked, though. That's the part that bummed me out.
dude, I would kill to have the F-Zero GX. I forgot what they called the arcade unit, but I would like the
It was
F-Zero.
the F-Zero AX.
Yeah, okay, there. That I would fucking kill for. I've seen pictures of it, and that's it. If I could just jump inside, even if it was like $3 to play, I'd fork over to $3
Every
immediately.
one of them I've ever seen is just totally shit busted. I mean, some guy much bigger than me must have got inside it, and well, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hence why the
so
ball ping
developers
hit the floor.
taking over for Nintendo. So you want Sega?
I would let Sega do the F-Zero, the new F-Zero they claim is coming for the Wii U. What do you think, Alpha?
I'm debating now, because oddly
Should we
enough,
come back
on the
to you?
yeah, just come back to me.
Okay, Razor Fist. What do you think? Do you care?
Okay. Now this is purely because this is like morbid curiosity. This is like passing a motorcycle wreck and counting the body parts. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, what if Bethesda did a Zelda game? That's my question. And it's like I said, it's mostly morbid curiosity. I'm not saying it would be amazing, but it would be really cool to see an American developed Zelda game, just to
That would be
see
very interesting.
how different it would be.
It might hurt because you'll have to, your sword, the Master Sword is DLC,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So that's my little science.
So are heart
experiment.
containers, as a matter of fact. You get one.
Yeah. No, you don't. You get more than that, right? Because you level up. Oh wait, levels are a thing of the past, right, Todd Howard? You're not allowed to have levels anymore in a
And
fucking
levels
RPG.
are also part of RPGs, which Zelda's not an RPG, obviously.
Well, it's not. But anyways. So,
But anyway.
Sainted.
Yes, I do actually.
What are you going to do, man? You got this opportunity to change history. What do you do?
Well, what I'd like to see, Gran Turismo 5, one of my favorite racing games of this generation. I'd like to see Polyphony Digital make a Wii U version. Make a racing game for the Wii U where, because when you're driving around in your car, you can actually change like your traction control and everything else while you're driving. And there is actually a function in Gran Turismo 5 where you can do that. I'd like to see them incorporate the touchscreen into a Gran Turismo game and see how that works.
For the Wii U, you mean?
For the Wii U, yes.
All right.
Because, Sony...
But, I mean, are you saying a new intellectual property that they could fly the Nintendo banner over?
Yes, exactly.
Ah, I see.
Wait. A new intellectual property, Nintendo? Are you feeling all right, Sainted?
I know.
You needed to go lie down, or?
I'm trying to give Nintendo some radical ideas.
Well, it'd be radical because, all the drivers will have thong panties on, that sort of thing.
Mm. And they'll probably put that stupid motion control shit in it. And that's another thing I wouldn't have them do. I'd say to him, don't put motion controls in Gran Turismo, just have it where you use the controller properly.
Have you been talking to Reggie Fils-Aimé again? Because this is a very boring concept.
No, I haven't. I don't even like Reggie Fils-Aimé.
No one likes Reggie Fils-Aimé. Even the Cheesecake Factory hates Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Well,
Alpha, have you been stewing on it?
Well,
I actually have 2 ideas right now.
You have 2 ideas? Wait. Razor Fist is going to explode. Hold on. What's going on, Razor?
Explode.
I was
Please,
just saying,
explode.
on the subject of Reggie Fils-Aimé, who the fuck is
Oh,
gonna...
it got in my eye.
who the fuck's gonna like a guy who actually says the phrase "Is your body ready?" with that creepy fucking leering smirk that Reggie?
Right,
dude. Yeah, he has the fucking creeper smile and then some, like on a fucking professional level.
He's got the Wayne Newton creeper smile.
No, seriously. Last time I saw a smirk that creepy, it came complete with a fucking windowless van and a trench coat.
At the airport, at the bathroom at the airport.
Him and George Michael. Anyways.
No, I was saying him and Mel Brooks. Do you find me attractive? Do you?
Anyways, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Alpha Omega Sin, what are you gonna do, man? You could change history too. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I'll throw out 2 just quickie ideas. First one, I talked about Legend of Zelda, if they ever actually gave Zelda her own game. And no, not the fucking CDI games, for fuck's sake. They're not even Nintendo games. Hell, they're not even really games. Anyhow, I would take the character Sheik from Legend of Zelda, and I'd have Rocksteady, the people that made the Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City games. Well, after Arkham City, it'd be kind of cool to play as a ninja-esque character like Sheik in a big fucking like open world like Hyrule. So yeah, throw that out there. And the other one is I would take the fine folks at Blizzard with World of Warcraft and give them Pokemon, and I would die a happy man. That would be
You want a Pokemon MMORPG?
I would fucking cut off one of my testicles for a Pokemon MMORPG.
How has that not happened?
Because Nintendo is very against the concept of fucking internet everything, and for whatever fucking reason, despite the fact that, like, hell, if any of you get bored, I normally don't even give a shit if anybody wants to check out my videos, but please, for the love of God, I have a Pokemon MMORPG video. I churned out some motherfucking awesome ideas in that video, but it makes sense. Like, the series has now gone to the point where it needs to be an MMO because it just should. Like, it just should.
I think they're trying to keep down on people, grown people going on an MMORPG that's aimed at kiddies.
Yeah, but you know what? That's gonna happen.
And then Chris Hansen will be there.
That's the thing. It's gonna happen everywhere. Internet police, what the fuck ever. The thing is, Pokemon Online makes way too much sense. The entire point to it is gotta catch them all and fight other people. And MMORPGs are all about, going up in levels and running around with other people and fucking PvP and shit like that. Well, that's Pokemon. It works too well to not have in an MMO environment. And if Nintendo really has their shit together with the Wii U and an online service, if they want to say it's like $5 a month to be able to play a Pokemon MMORPG, you have my money. You have all of it. Please take it. I'll pay for a year subscription. Play that shit all the fucking time. Just damn. Damnity damn.
That's some very good answers from our panel in the mailbag. Very good. We got one more. We got one more before we wrap it up, moving into our second half, because we're way behind schedule for the second half. But that's all right, because we're having a good time and you guys are having a good time right here on the 8-Bit Podcast. Anyway, we got our last one from the mailbag, and if you have any questions of any kind, concerns, etc., or you just want to send us, naked pictures, you can send them to hatebitpodcast@gmail.com, care of Sainted Magnus.
And
You can also drop them off at facebook.com/hatebitpodcast.
Oh yeah, and by the way, it has to have a timestamp on it, and if it doesn't, it didn't happen. So there.
There you go.
Yeah, and
what happens on the 8-Bit Podcast stays on the 8-Bit Podcast.
Be sure to include in the subject line "care of Chris Hansen."
There you go, care of Chris Hansen. and also regarding Pokemon MMORPG. Anyway, our last piece of mail comes from Toga Lavien. He dropped this on our Facebook page, and he says, "Hey-ya!" And to him, I say, "Hi-ya!" And he says, "I'm a big fan of your podcast because of your approach to talking about game topics. If you know a better way, please drop us a piece of mail." He says, "Keep doing what you're doing. We intend to. Here's my question. Finally." He says, "Why do you think Microsoft hasn't made a portable console yet? They have. It's called the Zune, and it really sucks."
That's not
the
console.
Zune, man. The Zune I remember when I was working at GameStop, we sold Zunes.
Did you?
They were way cooler than fucking iPods.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if I had a choice between the two, I'd go with the Zune. It was a lot cheaper because they had to drop the price really, really early off the bat. But yeah, it's actually not half bad.
The Zune HD. They stopped production of all the Zunes, and I shit you not, I have 2 Zunes, and people could even sit there and laugh like ho ho ho. But you know what? I went through 4 fucking iPods. 3 were iPod videos, 1 was an iPod Touch. They all died on me, all of them, and I take really good care of all of my stuff, like it's a fucking like a child that's going to explode or some shit. But the Zunes, neither of them crapped out on me, and the only reason I upgraded was because I wanted the bigger screen and more space. So yeah, they're pretty fucking nice. Zune HD all the way. I dig it.
I don't know. I kind of have to back up the iPod and I hate Apple. I hate iTunes. I hate all that shit. But I will say this: I've only gone through 3 iPods. In this house, 4 because somebody decided to drop it in the fucking jacuzzi. But
was that somebody you?
No, it wasn't. As a matter of fact, that's why I can't punch me. But anyway,
it would be funny.
It would be. It would be hilarious. I went through one 15 gig because it kept just chewing up the batteries. I'd replace the battery and it would just destroy the battery life. I don't know what was wrong with it. I've got a classic 80, which still runs just fine for the last 5 or 6 years, and I had a purple Nano that I found at Disneyland and subsequently lost at Disneyland because it fell off the train on Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh.
The thing is, the one thing I do like about iPod, out of all of them, the iPod Touch was my favorite. And I
didn't get it. It was an iPhone with no phone.
Well, it was free. I didn't have to pay for it, so I didn't really care. But
free anything is usually pretty goddamn good.
Well, it was nice because, had a really nice screen, had good battery life, and I had a bunch of games on there and random apps. I had Wi-Fi hooked up to it, so I just randomly go online with it, even though I could do it with my phone. But fuck it, I have this too, so why not? It looks better on there anyway. But yeah, it's not bad, but everybody dogged the Zune, and I swear most people that took a shit on it and made fun of it never even had their hands on it. The first generation Zune was fucking garbage and horrible and should die in a fire. But after they had the little touchpad on it, it was great.
Now, I'll be honest, I've never used a Zune, but I've had 2 iPods. I've had a Classic 30, and I'm currently running a Classic 160, and I've had no problems with them whatsoever. Well, but on the other hand, I've had 3 iPhones, and again, the battery is fucking balls on it. The battery never lasts that long for the ones I had. I had the 3GS, and I'm talking like 2010 though. But you know,
Yeah.
I want to get hold of the iPhone 4S because the battery life has actually been improved. We'll say.
Well, and I think at the end of the day, it's just the mere fact that it was called fucking Zune that cost that system. Jesus Christ, what a terrible name. You could have called it fucking Pap Smear and sold more. It was terrible. Zune is an awful name.
I must kill Pap Schmear.
I must admit, you can't really take Zune seriously.
It's
Well,
just
do you guys
ridiculous.
remember that dude that had the Zune logo tattooed on him?
What?
No.
Yeah, there's online. I was looking up some of the worst tattoos ever, and a lot of them are really funny. But then I came across this one heifer of a fucking human being. He takes out his gigantic, bulbous, flabby, cottage cheese filled arm, and lo and behold, he has the fucking Zune logo tattooed on there. And he's sitting at the fucking tattoo shop or wherever, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm cool." And it's like, you will never realize what the inside of a vagina feels like ever. Even if you're paying for it, they will take the money and
Well, he
run
was-
and laugh and say,
theoretically-
"Zune tattoo, Zune tattoo."
Yeah,
God,
but
you put this guy right next to the guy with the, new Coke tattoo.
Yeah.
barring a cesarean, I guess he saw female genitalia exactly once in his life.
There you go. And from what he remembers, it was okay. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the mailbag. You think it's safe to say that Microsoft is not in the handheld market because of the Zune?
Probably.
That's my guesstimation.
I don't know if they made a handheld that runs all of the, all the Xbox Live Arcade IndieWare games or something. What do you think?
Yeah, but at that point, it kind of becomes just a novelty, like
Mm.
the Neo Geo handheld that's coming out and so on.
Yellkaos,
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to tell you to go fuck yourself because you used the word guesstimate. That's all.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Guess.
No, actually, I use guesstimation.
That's even worse.
Hey! I have to appeal to the serfs as well. All right, man. They already think I'm an elitist jerk. The least I can do
The
is speak their
plebs.
simple language.
Yes, the plebs. We have to reach out to them.
We do. We have to include the plebeians, the Call of Duty fans. We have to include them because otherwise they'll go elsewhere for entertainment. You see, this is a marketing decision. I want you to know that.
Okay. Get
Since
on
I've
with
gone
it.
too far, so I'll quit while I'm ahead, and we'll move on to our second. Which should have been started over an hour ago. This one big news coming from the Alpha Omega Sin side of the podcast, and he says, "What about Resident Evil 6 and Capcom and their hypotheses about the sales figures?"
Yeah. So, most companies that are making any kind of big titles are going to say, well, we're thinking we're getting X amount of numbers sold. And especially when you're a big fucking company like Capcom, you can go and say stuff like that. But they said they are expecting for Resident Evil 6 to sell 7 million copies. The new DMC, Devil May Cry with Emo Dante, that's going to sell 2 million. And Lost Planet 3 will sell 1.5 million. Thoughts, everybody?
They think Lost Planet 3 is going to sell over 1 million copies? Seriously? Seriously?
Yeah, apparently they do because the other ones were resounding success stories. Though I do like the first one, and I like the monster designs in Part 2, even though Part 2 was definitely inferior by comparison. But yeah, I don't know. At least the third one looks like it's harkening back to the first game. So that's not
those games
Yeah,
are
what
so...
kind of leather jacket's going to come with that one?
Yeah, and Resident Evil 6 will come with the leather jacket, but hey, be careful, because there will be a fanboy that says, yeah, but it's Japanese exclusive, not like you have to buy it. If you don't like it, shut up. And boy,
Man,
that
those
definitely
fanboys
will fucking make me be quiet. Ho ho.
Yeah, well, you have to keep in mind these fanboys would let Capcom make a leather jacket out of them if given the opportunity.
Oh.
Look, I'm a
They
trench
would
coat.
stand in line and pay extra for that.
They would. They would.
Yeah, the thing is, I can say with Resident Evil 6, for them to say worldwide sales of that much, I don't think is too far off, to be honest. I mean, 7 million, it seems about accurate, though. I would say more realistically, it'll sell about 5.5 million. I won't say 7 million, but, shit could surprise me. As for DMC, that thing has been going through an uphill battle the entire time it's been fucking announced since the first trailer fucking dropped. So 2 million, you're gonna be lucky if it sells 2 million even after it fucking drops in budget price. So yeah. And as for Lost Planet, I don't really know if it'll sell a million, maybe about 500,000. I'm thinking with that, mind you, I'm just taking random guesses, but yeah, that's just me.
And to be quite honest, I'm just waiting for the stupid bastards to put the unboxings up on YouTube of the Uber edition of Resident Evil 6 with this stupid plastic leather fucking jacket.
I can't wait till they pull out a pleather ass coat, like just full grain pleather. They put it on and like it's too fucking small on them, and it doesn't fit them for shit. Like it comes up way too high. The sleeves are real short, and they're like, "Look, this looks really nice on."
Oh, this looks really nice. I'm gonna wear it all the time. Yeah.
I'm gonna wear this to the prom.
And make sure you lick the window on the way out.
So yeah, you know, there's a lesson here. A wise man once said, "Fuck the Sujimotos."
Yes.
So anyway, moving on to the next piece in the news. Actually, this is a very special segment that before we came on air, myself and Alpha Omega Sin, we were kind of we were moguling about this one, and you realize that in our lifetime, I'm 28 years old. And I probably shouldn't have said that, but you know, all us being in our late 20s, and you folks listening,
I'm not in my late 20s. I'm in my mid 20s actually.
You're in your mid 20s. I beg your
Yeah,
pardon.
I think
he's
I'm
the youngin' out of our group.
Yeah.
I'm younger than all you guys.
Yeah.
Young
And
buck.
you listen to music from a bygone era of heroin addicts, and you're just a fabulous person in general.
Yes.
I don't even know where I was going.
I
Anyway,
like that was his response. Just ha ha ha. Yes.
yeah, you know, that's, I mean, duh. Anyway, in our lifetimes, we have witnessed both the rise and fall of video game magazines, both in North America, and it's been a different journey for the Saint of Magnus over there in the UK. But Alpha Omega Sin, mogul away. I know you had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that is very relevant in a lot of people's, I mean, just growing up in general, and it's also just a big transition for how we received our information. You know, we depended on video game magazines or having that one friend that knew a guy that knew a guy. And having video game magazines, you were just waiting for it to come in the mail or go to the grocery store and see it there, and you'd pick it up and read it for free without buying it, like I did.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, with all the game magazines, it was really cool, you know, to get that stuff to open up and see, oh man, this game's being previewed right now, and you know, oh, this game got reviewed, oh, it got a shit score, guess I'm gonna avoid that. And if you had Nintendo Power, which I still will say to this day is one of the best video game magazines I'd ever read. I haven't read some of the newer ones, but I know way back in the day it was just amazing. Their walkthroughs, the art that they would have inside. It was just really cool stuff. And especially for NES games, how fucking hard they are, to have like a guide sitting there right there was just very cool. And then, you know, you get to move on.
You little fucks don't remember a time before you could just go on the internet and look shit up.
Exactly. Yeah, see, there was nothing like that. It was, you know, we couldn't just go to GameFAQs and find out something, or go to YouTube and find a Let's Play to figure out how to get through it.
You remember
had to find that.
You remember all the Super Nintendo games, and even some N64 and PS1 games had a notes section in the little guide that came with them.
Yeah.
Dude,
I bought tons of them that have that, and I always giggled, like if you bought a used game and it had notes back there, it was just like, remember to do this. Here's the code for that one door.
Yeah, the only thing is those notes were what would ultimately totally devalue those fucking games when sold back into the used market.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, you better believe I fucking used that notes section on Mega Man X and shit. I was always using that to write down the codes and the passwords to get, you know, to the next part or whatever. Because God forbid they include a goddamn save feature.
One of the best things is fucking having a draw, like for dungeon crawlers, having to draw out your own map so you don't fucking get lost.
Oh,
But if you
yes.
had one of those magazines, man, sometimes they'd have every single map in there, with a little red line telling you exactly how to get through it, and it was really fucking cool. And you'd get like little fold-out posters and stuff that you can go and hang up. Like anybody who watches like the Angry Video Game Nerd and shit, that dude's got fucking posters all over the place because he's got tons of Nintendo Power magazines, and I like that stuff because, well, I like posters. So yeah, that's nifty.
I'm happy to say that Nintendo Power still does every now and again drop a really good poster.
Yep.
That's good to hear.
So that's one, because there was a time. Oh, am I taking over?
I guess you are.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I guess
Well, were
so.
you done?
Oh, I mean, I'll banter in and out.
Yeah, please. Well, because here's the way I feel. I can remember way back when we're talking about Nintendo Power, because the neighbor kid subscribed to GamePro, and so that's how I knew about GamePro. But it seemed like Nintendo Power you could fucking get anywhere. You could get it at 7-Eleven. It was everywhere. And I remember reading it. Here's how hip that my upbringing was. We had Nintendo Power, or this was propaganda, but we had Nintendo Power in the school library.
Yeah.
And that's how I was
That
able
actually
to...
makes me jealous.
I know.
Yeah.
We didn't have any Nintendo Power in the school library, you
Yeah.
bastard.
Well, I'm terribly sorry. If I knew then what I know now, I totally would have stole those fucking magazines from the library. But not that I condone that sort of thing.
He does.
God, see, now I'm
He
going to get
does.
angry letters. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to get angry letters. People who say, "How dare you?" I was like, I don't know. I donate shit to libraries. Fuck you. In any event, so Nintendo Power was great until they realized how powerful it was, because Nintendo ran the show all the way until just recently. Now it's run by Future Publishing, who, now that I just renewed my fucking subscription, is telling me that they might be closing up doors. So I'm not exactly thrilled about that. But
I mean, and that's sad because that's an end of an era, and I know that anybody can say, well, that's the way things go, and that's very understandable. I'm accepting of
That's just
all
the way
things
it
like
is.
moving on and dying off as natural selection goes, but it's always sad to see something that was so relevant and important to people's lives just kind of die off, kind of like when Electronic Gaming Monthly finally stopped
Oh
publication.
god, EGM. I miss EGM. They were like the only good video game magazine, and I mean
They're
seriously,
the only
because there
one
was
that had
so
people
much.
who knew how to write.
Yeah, and there was so much fluff in all the video game magazines. I remember when I switched up from, I had GamePro, I switched up to EGM, and it was like, holy shit, there's like information in here.
Yeah,
What
dude.
the fuck?
EGM, for anybody that doesn't know, wasn't EGM the very first video game magazine, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't know about that. I'm not
I
exactly
doubt that.
sure.
I don't know if that's somewhere I read. Mind you, I'm not saying that is absolute, but I could have swore I read somewhere that they were the first video game magazine. But regardless, I mean, they were around for years and years and years, and that was the first one that I actually had a subscription to. I didn't even have Nintendo Power subscription at the time. I had Electronic Gaming Monthly, and a lot of the people that showed up in there, let's see, what was it, Sushi X?
Yeah.
Trying to think of what the hell was that one dude. He actually works for crack.com now.
Is anyone
And
aware
it's
that
such a
Electronic
shame, I
Gaming
mean-
Monthly is still active?
Well, they've got a website going on.
Yeah.
No,
But
they've begun to publish new issues of it.
Yeah, I
Well,
heard
yeah,
that they
under
were
a
supposed
new-
to be coming back.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, it makes me wonder if they were able to come back. Why the fuck stop in the first place? I
They
mean,
changed
there's
publishers.
Yeah, I mean, but okay, if you're going to switch publishers, you're not just going to close down first. And they were gone
sure.
for like 2 years. I mean,
Well,
there's no
it's-
doubt they had more circulation problems than Jim Sterling in a fucking wetsuit. But you didn't have to fucking close up shop just to change publishers, as far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
there's got to be, of all the billionaires in the world, there's got to be some fucking gamer billionaires like, I have a couple $1 billion I can throw away here, magazine.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Since we're on the topic, did anybody at all subscribe to the fucking Sega only magazine? I don't even know the name.
No.
I just know that Sega had their own magazine.
Well,
Nope.
we had one over here called Sega Mean Machines.
Well, over here it was called Sega Power.
Yeah, we had Sega.
See,
Sega Power.
Hmm?
Yikes.
We had,
See, I'd never even seen them before. I shit you not. Like the entire time growing up, I knew that they existed.
You know-
That was it. Never even saw one just
You
out
couldn't
and
find them
about.
anywhere. No.
Isn't that weird though? Like, you hear the word Nintendo Power and you just think, oh, it's video game related. You hear the phrase Nintendo Sega Power and you picture guys in white sheets burning crosses and shit. I don't know. There's something wrong
Actually,
there.
you know
They got,
what?
they got little
I actually
Sonic the
pictured a bunch of
Hedgehog.
Japanese guys in white jackets with, hard hats on for some reason. Hello, we are from Sega Power Company. You may have heard something about a nuclear scare. No, don't listen to those people.
And now sign these papers. They're
Sign
waivers.
these papers and the green mist. Pay no attention to that. Anyway,
Well, we had a magazine over here for Sega called Sega Mean Machine, and I used to get that every month. And some of the shit we got in that were unbelievable. We got the badges with Sonic on. We got bloody big massive posters with fucking golden axe, and basically all the Sega franchises were pushed in our faces, and everyone was like, I have to play this game. Oh, I have to get this game, and it was just unbelievable. And then
Was it a big magazine over there?
it was huge. It was running all the way up until the Dreamcast.
See, that's pretty cool. I remember Dreamcast also had their own magazine, and theirs
Yeah.
I could find, but I couldn't find the regular Sega magazine. But I could find Dreamcast whenever it fucking dropped,
Well,
and I always thought that was neat.
Before that, I remember we had a Sega Saturn magazine, and then when the Sega Saturn died, they changed it to the Dreamcast magazine, and then that ran for about 23 issues, which is basically how long the Sega Dreamcast was actually alive for.
Yeah.
So we had some good magazines, but we seem to get spoiled with our official magazines. Like we get Nintendo official magazines, Sega official magazines.
Nintendo official magazine in UK is amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic. But the thing is, it's just a bunch of self-promotion. That's
Yeah.
all it is. The Xbox magazine is pretty good. I used to get the Sony, the official PlayStation magazine, the official Xbox magazine, and I used to get another one, which is kind of like a conglomerate of all different reviews from like PC and DS and Nintendo and all of that. And it was Games Master, which has been running for years. I mean, they've been running for 20 years or more. And they are actually one of the, quite a big magazine over here. And it only costs like about £4 or something.
I was gonna say, did you guys ever hear of one magazine? It wasn't popular at all, but I had a big love for it. It was called Tips and Tricks.
We had something similar, but I can't remember the
Tips
name
and
of it.
Tricks was ridiculous. Some of that stuff was BS too.
Like
So
the main thing that, and I shit you not, I really think this is what made me start wanting to collect. And they had a back section called Room of Doom, and it would just be people that would take a picture of their game collection and their room and everything, and they'd post it. And I always looked at man, that would be so fucking killer. And I'd see my measly pile of games, and I'd be like, damn, I need to quit trading shit in.
And now look at your measly pile of games.
Oh, dude, I mean, it helps. Work your fucking ass off and buy stuff. It'll accumulate. But there's Tips and Tricks, PSM, which I like because they weren't the official PlayStation magazine, so they weren't biased, and I like that because the official PlayStation magazine, the official Sega magazine, official Nintendo, you always feel like you're not getting the absolute truth when they're reviewing anything that's first party related.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
the
lying
problem-
to you.
But the problem with PSM was just they never had any fucking features. Their stories about video games would be like a quarter of a page.
Yeah.
And then they dedicate pages and pages to shitty little manga cartoons and shit.
Yeah. We
They
have,
would, but they had good reviews, though. That was the one thing that I actually enjoyed about that magazine. I actually trusted their opinions, at least back in the day I did.
yeah. I think the only problem with PSM over here was that as soon as you open the magazine, you open it up and you get the, the contents. It's usually about fucking 6 pages in. Because the first pages are all fucking double page spreads of
EGM got like that. I remember tons of times, my one bedroom, I had it decorated in metal posters and video game ads from magazines. I would tear open the fucking magazine, just start taking the things out, paste them up on the wall and everything until it was covered completely. But I mean, you'd open it up and it's like, all right, here's the index, here's the content section.
Yeah.
All right, and then it's like 3 fucking back to back to back double page fucking spreads of ads. And it's like, holy shit, can I please just get some content finally?
Yeah, I think we
Cool.
all know the world heavyweight champion of that though is Game Informer,
Oh.
without
Oh
question.
yeah.
And they are
Game Informer.
completely. They're the propaganda wing of GameStop Incorporated now. Essentially, they're owned by them. They're subsidized by them. They don't give anything below a 5 because they want to sell copies of even shitty games. So it's like they can't be
Not
trusted.
to mention, as
at
soon as you
all.
open the magazine, thank you for buying our magazine. We hope you enjoyed our magazines. Don't forget to buy our magazine.
You know what I think's weird about Game Informer? I didn't know that motherfucking magazine existed until GameStop bought them out and then hoard them out. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's strange because it's like out of all the respectable magazines ever, and especially during a time where magazines are struggling, which is obviously why we're talking about the rise and fall of video game magazines. But why didn't you pick up something like Electronic Gaming Monthly
Mhm.
that has the name recognition, that really has like, you know,
Or fuck,
it's actually a good magazine.
Or fuck Play Magazine. They were always creaming their pants over every new game anyways. They never had anything negative to say about anything, so why not buy them? Yeah. They
Because
ended up
everyone
going out of
knew
business.
that.
Yeah. Oh man, they would just cream their pants over every new release. It was
Do you guys
ridiculous.
remember some of the short-lived magazines that they'd have? Like, I believe, I don't even know if it's still around, but they had, I think it was a Best Buy exclusive. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it was called Gamer.
I remember Best Buy having a magazine, but I do not recall what it was called.
Yeah, I know that they had one. I know that there's a magazine called Gamer. I don't know if that's the exact magazine, but I know Best Buy had one, and then nobody gave a fuck about it. When it's like, all right, next, and oh yeah, next. That was another short-lived video game magazine that just went nowhere fast. There was EGM2, but I actually liked that because that was called something originally. I can't remember though. Fuck. What was it called? Damn it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I forget, but yeah, EGM2.
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares?
It was actually not too bad considering that I really liked the Electronic Gaming Monthly. EGM2 seemed like a natural thing for me to go and want to pick up, but yeah, and GamePro. I like GamePro until they started handing out 5s to every single fucking game, everything.
Yeah.
I swear they were slapping 5s on games that were like deserved a 2 because the rating system would go from 1 to 5. And in between, it'd be like 1.5, 2.5, and whatnot. But they were just handing out 5s like nobody's fucking business. And I eventually just got annoyed with that and just stopped reading.
Yeah, I had a prescription. I had a subscription to. I had a subscription.
What do you
to
got a
PC
prescription for, man?
had
You
a
want to sell me some of it?
But it's daddy's
Medicinal
glaucoma.
marijuana.
Don't worry, it's daddy's glaucoma medicine. Go fuck yourself.
Can we snort
so-
it off of Ronald Reagan's penis?
Oh.
Anyways, I for like 3 years there, I had PC Gamer, and that was a great magazine. But it was like I had it from like '96 to '99, I think. And so,
It's a
like,
cost of
I still
fortune.
have them up in my closet somewhere, and I just pull them down every now and then to just remind myself how much better gaming was in '97 or '96. Because you'll have there was a freaking preview for the Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall in there, and I'm like, fuck yes, you know.
Are the
Hold,
pages still
hold,
sticky?
hold.
Hold.
That's still my favorite fucking things. The unbeatable fucking, well, not unbeatable, but damn near unbeatable guards.
Yeah.
No, a PC Gamer was really cool. My friend, he was the big PC enthusiast, and he had them. And I know that whenever I'd go and crash at his place, I would rifle through his magazines, and I'd be like, "That's really cool. Wished I was going to be on the Super Nintendo." And be like, get
Whoa.
yourself a computer. Be like, my family's poor. We can't afford that. That's why I come down here to go on the internet. You got
I
mail.
haven't
You're on
checked- I haven't
AOL
checked
Internet.
Email in like 3 weeks, man. But thank you for letting me use America Online.
I know.
Oh,
man.
God.
AOL Instant Messenger. Lol, lol, lol.
Wow.
Ah. I can't believe
But-
people still
Did
do that.
AOL have a fucking video game magazine?
I don't know. They probably would have tried, or Ted
It's like
Turner would have
everybody
bought one.
did. I
Oh,
mean,
remember they used to do the thing where they would make a deal with some big company, like they did it with WWF. I know back in the day, where you wouldn't, they didn't have a search, they had a keyword, and so
Yeah.
you'd type in the keyword, and then you'd get this elaborate, whatever the fuck, you'd get some web page basically that was specifically made for America Online. So if you watch like these tapes from like 97 or 98 of whatever, they'll be like, type in keyword, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, dude,
You know?
there's a lot of shit that had the whole keyword thing, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. I don't even know anybody that thinks AOL's real. Like, they think that it's just like a fictional thing that, was on the internet at one time in a 1,000 fucking trial edition internet discs that are floating around in the world. Pretty sure
Oh.
clogging a fucking dam somewhere.
I used to remember. I used to remember getting the PC Gamer magazines over here because in the 90s I was more of a PC gamer than a console gamer.
Which is when it was good to be a PC gamer.
Exactly,
goddammit.
exactly. That's where I found Thief Dart. What was it, Dart Project?
Yep.
well,
Yep.
PC Gamer these days, whenever I read it, seems to be like, we used to be great. Anyway,
Yeah, but I remember you used to get the 2 demo discs on the front. One was like system programs, of like virus checkers and crap like that. And then there was a demo disc with like all the fucking latest PC demos on it. And I remember getting one back in 1997, I think it was. And it had the Dark Forces 2 demo on it.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I played that fucking demo to death.
Wait, Dark Forces Star Wars?
Yeah?
Yeah, Star
Dude,
Wars
that game rocked.
Jedi
Knight, man. Jedi Knight. What a
Jedi
great
Knight
fuck-
was fucking awesome. It was one of the best fucking first-person shooters I played in the 90s. And
Yeah.
the homebrew community and the customization community back then, fucking hell, there was like full
Yeah,
fucking story
you'd go on-
campaigns on there.
Yeah, you'd go on MSN Gaming Zone, and people would have made like fully interactive like RPGs out of the Jedi Knight engine. It was like, holy shit!
You want to know what's fucked up now? Everybody fucking sits there and works their wiener over something like Minecraft and its customization. And despite how amazing it is, it's like you realize that people have been making amazing shit for before some of you people were even born.
I used
It's
to
just like, making full blown like actual games from scratch just based off of some
Counter-Strike.
little fucking program.
Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike 1.6.
Oh, Counter-Strike's like the king of that though, because it went on to become its own thing and they really embraced it, which I have to say that they were really smart to do that.
What about another
You
game
know.
that were like that? Half-Life. The modding community for that was fucking huge. I remember somebody made an entire Dragon Ball Z fucking multiplayer map.
Well, fuck, we were talking about Thief.
Yeah.
Thief 2 got an entire fan-made expansion for Thief 2 that was even longer than the normal campaign.
Mm.
So that was fucking amazing. It got a DVD release. It got just what the fuck? They spotlighted it in PC Gamer magazine and called it the best mod ever made for a game.
I mean,
it was incredibly elaborate.
That's one of the things that I fucking loved about a lot of those here's one thing that I still do love about a lot of the magazines is that sometimes they can get a hold of exclusive stories and like previews and everything that you won't see, show up anywhere whatsoever, like first glimpses into games and everything, and interviews with the creators, producers, and whoever, and just insight into a series that will come out and may turn out to be fucking amazing. And that's something I love about that. The only downside is that because of the internet, that is the ultimate downfall, is that magazines, they have to catch up on an entire month worth of content, throw it out there, which will probably be irrelevant to you by the time it gets to you. And then it's back to the grind of, all right, we got to throw this stuff together. They have only so many pages that they can print this stuff on, despite how much news may have came out. And in like Game Informer, for instance, if you look in the back, they'll review like a handful of games, and then they smashed them a whole bunch all together, like a mini review that is like half a paragraph with a score. And it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to really get a valid fucking opinion about this game when you didn't even put enough there to preview it, let alone review it?
Well,
and you're just giving me a number. Like, it's not all about numbers. I want to know, like, give me some information, for fuck's sake.
It's like there was one little section in the official PlayStation magazine that we got over here, and it was like just off the cover it was called. And what they did, they used to put like cover, samples of game covers in there to say would they pick this game up just for the cover. I used to think, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I had actually tried that theory out myself, and I found some right fucking humdingers from that.
Dude, Nintendo Power is fucking ripe for the picking when it comes to covers. One of my favorite all-time covers from a video game magazine I'm thinking about is the 100th issue of EGM. I remember it very clearly. It basically just has number 100, and it has a fuck ton of iconic characters just on the page, and it looks amazing. It's just really cool to see something like that. And actually, this is a question I want to put out to all the listeners and to you three as well. What is, assuming that you did read video game magazines, I know you three did, but what is your all-time favorite video game magazine? Just growing up in general, what was your favorite? And I'll toss mine out right now. It's EGM. I have to say, even though people are like, "How dare you, Nintendo Power?" But I read EGM the most out of everything. It was the shit for me. It really was. It was the bee's knees, and that's how I became the connoisseur of gaming that I want to be. But yeah, what do you guys?
Computer and video game magazine for me. It was one of those magazines where it was like all the best bits of the major, of the major platforms all thrown into one magazine. And some of the freebies you got with it, like stickers for your PlayStation, for example, or
I love those
posters. Big fucking. I'm not talking like the small shitty A3 ones. I'm talking like the A1 size, flip chart size posters in there. And whenever there was, when there was like a big influx of games that were coming out, like straight after E3, for example, they used to have a cover covered in fucking characters, and you were like, oh, I can't wait to play as him, or I remember playing as him on the NES or the Super Nintendo. It was absolutely brilliant. When they're still going now, but they're more of a website than a publication, which is a shame. Thank you, Future.
Well, I say for
We
me,
should probably. Oh, sorry.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Razor.
Oh, I was just gonna say definitely. I'm gonna. Me and Alpha are gonna have our own little circle jerk over here. It's definitely EGM. So.
Oh, EGM's gonna get a cream pie.
Ooh.
See, that's the thing. For me, it was three. There was three of them that I read on a regular basis. Just because when you're a kid, you got to scrape whatever money you can together to get a magazine or something. Because my parents were a bunch of cheap bastards. But that's another story for another time.
Bastages.
The three big ones for me. One was Nintendo Power because we got to read it in the school library. The second one was Turbo Play.
Turbo Play.
Which was the
never heard of that
magazine.
one.
It was for the TurboGrafx 16 or the PC Engine, and it was distributed at Toys R Us locations. I couldn't afford any fucking games, so I got a magazine. And then the other one was Computer Gaming World, which, rest in peace, went out a little while back. And actually, I didn't think it was that good of a magazine, but, it was easy to come by.
See, that's crazy. Like the Turbo Play, I'd never even heard of. But then again, I'd never even seen a TurboGrafx well until my teens. I was just like, TurboGrafx.
It seemed to have done better in the Western United States than it did in the East.
Yeah,
I've heard that. I had seen the games once, and I think I was like 16 at the time, and I saw them at a yard sale. I just scooped up a bunch of Nintendo games and saw two of them sitting there, and one of them was a Bonks game, which is the only reason why I paid attention to them. But I was like, I have no clue what the fuck those are, so I'm not buying them. Now, naturally, I'm kicking myself. But yeah, it would have been cool to see stuff like that and probably gotten more people into like buying the system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so continuing on, Jesus Christ, we hung on that subject a long ass time.
Hey,
Yes, we do.
It was.
Well, we're winding down to the end of our program, and we got a few more pieces before we go. Here's one that Alpha Megason was very insistent that we talk about. Kid Icarus Uprising will receive, or it's been reported, will receive no sequel. What do we think about that?
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
I can't shrug my shoulders indifferently enough. So
I think it's a
Alpha
bummer.
Megason?
I really do. I think it's a bummer just because it's taken so long for it to come out, and despite some of the flack that the game's got over the controls is an easy issue for them to fix because they see what was wrong to go and work on a sequel. They know what worked, what didn't. and I would like to see them really build off of that because they have a
Nintendo
very
does
fucking
not
strong
make
foundation.
mistakes.
Yeah, well, according to them. But the thing is, for anybody that got to hear the interview, the fucking director of the game went on to say, yeah, well, maybe in another 15 or 20 years, somebody will actually decide to make another Kid Icarus game. And what a way to slap the fucking franchise in the face and slap fans in the face for saying that. I think that's just
Yes,
fucked.
in the face.
Like, I don't know, it just hearing something like that actually does bother me because I just think it's very ignorant in general because this it got a lot of critical praise. It sold very, very well, and yeah, I think that saying something like that just dismisses all the work that went into the game and what fans think of it. So
Well,
yeah, that's just me.
From a fan's perspective, yeah, it's just taking away a beloved franchise. And I know a lot of people have given me flack about the fact that I don't like it, but I don't like it because I can't grasp the controls. Now, they might be easy
is a
for
good
other
sound reason to dislike something.
if other people might grasp the controls and absolutely fucking buttfuck the thing. But as far as I'm concerned, the controls break the game for a lot of people, and they should either address it or fix the controls and make them fucking work. Because at the end of the day, it's an on-rail shooter where you fucking move around shooting with the fucking what you could do with the fucking two analog sticks. Using a fucking stylus in one hand, using your finger on a bloody Circle Pad Pro, and if you're left-handed like myself, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
The point is, this could easily have been solved and used perfectly for the Circle Pad Pro. If any game from Nintendo ever was designed for the Circle Pad Pro, this was it. And it didn't happen.
No,
But one thing I
they
will
ruined
say,
it.
the controls do not kill Kid Icarus Uprising. However, they do shoot them in the kneecaps.
They fucking blow their fucking brains out and splatter everything all over the fucking pavement. Sorry, but that's the way I feel about Kid Icarus Uprising. I'm very disappointed in the game, and to be quite honest, fuck you Nintendo for destroying a franchise that I'd never actually experienced when I was younger, and now I buy one of your games to experience a new franchise and actually expand my gaming repertoire, and I can't because the controls are broken on a game. The only good Kid Icarus game on the fucking 3DS is the 3D version of Kid Icarus, the NES remake for the fucking system. That's the best one they've made since fucking the one on the NES.
Well, I really don't think that it's all that bad. I just think this game, the controls were designed. Imagine if they designed a game for the NES, but that just for some reason could not employ the B button.
Oh.
Because it requires a button that's not there. That's exactly what it is. I hate to admit it, but the second analog control stick is exactly what is missing from the capability of that game.
Well, look at what the PSP got flack for. The PSP got flack for having one analog stick. Now they've got two analog sticks. They say the shit. They've just dumbed down an entire PS3 into a fucking Vita.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm
But
concerned, but just going back to the sequel, just going back to what they've done with the fans with this, it's wrong. A lot of people.
Well, if they're gonna have a sequel, fix the goddamn thing.
Exactly, fix the controls. If they patch it and fix the controls like everybody fucking does nowadays, they patch everything. Why can't they do it with this?
Yeah, do like you do everything else. Bring in some fucking 12-year-olds and ask them what they think.
They'll be as honest as we are. I don't like it. I can't do it.
Sure.
Show me how to do it.
Yeah, so no sequel for Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus Uprising.
So
See,
no
almost got me
Uprising
slipping.
2. Sorry, folks.
Yeah. Anyway, that brings us to my favorite part, your favorite part, the rant. And today the rant is brought to us by the indomitable Alpha Omega Sin. Alpha, what are you ranting on today?
I'm ranting on AVGN clones on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Stand back!
Videos. Yeah.
Okay.
Hit it.
Let's understand something real quick about the reviewing process whenever you decide to sit down in front of a camera and do anything. If you want to review something, that's fine. If you want to do it in your own style, that's fine. If you want to go and emulate somebody, that's fine. But when you steal line for line, editing technique for editing technique, gimmick for gimmick, you're not paying homage anymore to the AVGN. you are taking his entire shtick and copying and pasting it and saying it's your own and trying to be quote unquote creative with it. Yes, this game is bullshit fuck diarrhea coming out of a rhinoceros dick ass into your mouth. Whatever the fuck other things you want to go and say, like James Rolfe and everything, but for the love of fucking shit, please have some fucking self-respect for yourself. And I'm looking at you, NC-17 Productions, you fucking miserable pile of shit. You're just one of the many motherfucking clones. And yes, I'm actually going to go and point out one person, just one in particular, because that was pretty much a straw that broke the camel's back for why making this entire thing. If you get bored, seriously, Go type it in for fucking fun. As a matter of fact, Ace Olieri, that was on our last podcast, he already went and fucking dug a nice ditch to go and toss his fucking corpse into. Well, here's the thing. I was dumb enough to go and watch one of these motherfuckers' videos, and it was for I Want to Be the Guy, which is a really good PC game. Yeah, if you watch it, I can't even fucking keep track mathematically how many times he fucking rips off the Angry Video Game Nerd. And no, this isn't one of those fucking triads of me going off because I'm a fucking Angry Video Game Nerd fanboy. No, it's because I hate when people can't even think on their own, talk on their own, do something on their own. If you have an idea, please fucking execute it. Don't just take somebody else's and then say, I'm creative. I took a game that is a bullshit fuck of a dick of an ass and now I'm going to go and review it. I'm going to reference the Top Gun landing sequence. Oh, I'm really angry. I think it's time to go and down some beer. Oh man, you are fucking clever and then some. You really are. You should really have your fucking ass stomped. I mean, to the point that your fucking rectum becomes a fucking, like, a pair of galoshes for whoever's fucking doing the stomping. I really can't fucking fathom it. I couldn't on any fucking day of the week, no matter what drunken fucking tizzy I got myself into, could sit down, record something bastardizing somebody else's fucking work, and then try to say, oh yeah, you want to know what? This is me on, no, I'm paying homage to him, yeah. And then after, what, like 30 fucking reviews in, you're still doing it? How the fuck are you paying homage anymore? No, you're trying to rip them off. You're the irate fucking gamer. Except for NC-17 Productions, it's actually worse than irate gamer. Who knew that you could fucking dig below the bottom of the barrel? Well, he did. He fucking went down there with a mining crew and decided to just get fucking lost. But sure enough, he did it, and he's just one of many. That's the thing, one of fucking many. If you're gonna review stuff, please do not fucking just try to be the Angry Video Game Nerd. Be your fucking self. Make a review. If you need a good example, look at fucking Razor Fist. He reviews shit and it's funnier than fucking hell. Yeah, I'm going and tooting his fucking horn. We're circle jerking about EGM. We're fucking well known with our wieners now. Look.
Yes.
I can't fucking stand wannabes in general, and that's pretty much it. I'm done with my fucking rant. What do you guys fucking think of AVGN clones?
AVGN clones, it's like a Famicom clone. Too many of them and they never fucking work.
Oh.
That was a good zinger right there. I like that.
Yeah,
Sting!
goodness, Satan, you must have had that one locked and loaded. Fuck.
Oh, yes. But
that one's stuck at the wall.
just going on to this NC-17 fucking douchebag, right? I've got one of his videos up here, and I'm going to watch it after we've finished filming this, and it's the Streets of Rage video that he's done.
I swear, if he's ripping on Streets of Rage, dude, my fucking god.
If he rips on Streets of Rage, he better fucking bend over and prepared to get fucking shit kicked.
Oh, dude.
We're giving him a bunch.
You want to know what? It gets even better. He has all ratings disabled on his videos and all comments pending approval. You want to know why? Because everybody called him out on his fucking bullshit.
That's the
happens
bullshit.
to every other fucking AVGN clone. Because you're not yourself. You're just living in another man's shadow who doesn't care that you exist.
I fucking hate that shit. When you're blatantly ripping someone off, and this is the biggest thing, even if you weren't ripping off a single person on the planet, when you don't allow comments and you don't allow ratings because you cannot turn to someone and rip them a new asshole because you lack wit and talent of any kind. Look, when somebody comments negatively on one of my videos, it's like getting presents on Christmas fucking morning for me. I'm ready. I'm ready to tear into them. I look at what I do as like stand-up comedy, and to me, a bad comment is like a fucking heckler. I'm just ready to turn to this asshole and say, listen, dipshit, How the fuck do you clench your ass cheeks without decapitating yourself? You know what I mean? I'm ready. I love taking these motherfuckers on.
Oh, are you ready for a laugh now?
Or what?
You know, on the side of a YouTube page, you get like all the suggested videos.
Yeah.
You know, there's one here that he's made himself. Making of an NC-17 episode, and it's 50 minutes 13 seconds long.
It seems like that's about the right length.
You want to know
Hang on.
what? It essentially should boil down to this. He has a fucking notepad in hand, his dick out, a sock in the other hand, some fucking lotion, and he's watching an entire thing of fucking videos on Cinemassacre.com ready to just fucking go nuts. And I mean that figuratively and literally. And then he all of a sudden has a good idea. Or, you know, somebody else's idea that was good.
I take the computer monitor over to the Xerox machine and I press 1.
No, I just want to actually point something out here. Now, there is actually one reviewer. Now, we've touched on him before we started fucking about, and we do know he's a fucking douchebag. And that's that Ed Finley fella, Retro Gamer 3. Now, he did a review of an AVGN DVD box set, right? And he did exactly what we mentioned before. He actually paid homage to the original material, not plagiarized it as his own.
Yeah, there's a difference.
So now,
yeah, but his excuse for
we still hate the fuck, right? I don't fucking like him. I'm not even fucking subscribed to the guy, but I know of his fucking bullshit, and at least he's done something
Are you sure you're
right
not the
for
guy that
once.
subscribes just to dislike his videos?
No, I'm not one of those guys that subscribes just to dislike. I'm not that fucking pathetic, really.
Wait a minute, you mean you have a life?
I do. You know,
holy shit.
You know what? Do you remember me mentioning last week? I know what fresh air tastes like.
Yeah.
It tastes like cigarettes and butter.
Well, over here it's hot pots and fucking
And kippers.
earthly beers. So
Earthly beers and kippers.
You wouldn't think they'd have time to, you know, in the second one of our videos is uploaded to thumb it down. You'd think they'd be busy being out all fucking morning discovering fire and shit.
I know. you see,
wait, that circle thing just keeps moving downhill. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Dragging their knuckles as they pursue a fucking wildebeest on the Serengeti.
Yeah.
But
so Mr. Chaos, what do you think about AVGN clones in general?
I don't give a shit. Whatever, man. These guys are eventually going to break YouTube. There's going to be a shitstorm overload on the internet, and whatever. I mean, it's just like that's the interesting thing. Is angry video game nerd is like, you know, for us, I guess it's like the pop icon, like how all broads want to be in music, want to be like Madonna and so on. It's really thin, and you know, people commonly ask me, "Oh, what do you need to be on YouTube?" It's like, you need a fucking personality, homie.
Yep.
You need a camera and an idea. That's it.
And the thing is, your idea is going to be...
Most of them don't even have that.
Yeah, you can buy a new camera, you can buy a new editing software suite. You cannot buy a personality or talent or comedic timing. I'm sorry, it's not even something you can necessarily teach.
No,
you can't teach it. You cannot, just like stand-up comedy. You cannot teach stand-up comedy. You're either funny or you're not.
Well, look at me. I'm not exactly
this is the kind of stuff that we should not be saying on the podcast, though. We're like giving a clinic that we don't want to give right now.
Exactly. Well, it's like myself. I'm just an average fucking Joe. I don't have a fucking humongous amounts of money coming in. I don't have a comic streak that could make even the Queen crack up. I'm just me. I'm just Sainted Magnus. Well, it's an online persona, but that's me. I'm Sean. Pure, plain, simple
that's the
Sean.
thing. Dude, that's one of the reasons why I like this podcast, not just because I'm on here, but it's the fact that it's for motherfuckers, and what you're hearing right now, this is just us. This isn't some personas we go and fucking conjure up and we're trying to be. No, if you met any one of us, this is how we act, except for we might beat you up and take your lunch money. But the thing is, ultimately...
No, we will beat you up and take your lunch money.
Okay, well, we will, unless you're going to be smart enough to go and buy us lunch, then that's a lot better. But no, in general, this is literally us. If you watch any of our YouTube videos, that's us. If you hear us on this podcast, that's us. If you ever, if you know, that's in general. We're not trying to be something. We're just us. We're not going to see, oh, that guy's really famous. I think I'll emulate every single thing he does, right down to the very fucking sentence structure, and I'm going to go and do that and say I'm fucking clever and creative. No, fuck that.
Well,
That's why it blows me away when, you know, like, people will turn around and say someone like, say Alpha Omega Sin's a dick. Or they'll say, oh, Razor Fist is such a dick. Well, at what point did I ever portray myself as anything other than a raving, egotistical dickbag? Seriously. It's like complaining that you bought fucking Bisquick and it makes pancakes. Seriously.
There's not real butter in there, man.
What the fuck, man?
You want to know what I don't get about somebody saying, I don't like you? Then don't watch me. You know, anytime that I hate something a whole lot, I avoid it like a fucking plague. That's like NC-17 Productions. First, last, only fucking time I'm ever going to see that jack off ever on YouTube because he's fucking waste of sperm.
Yes.
Yep.
See, and that's what's the great thing about our podcast. You know, we bring such life to the video game community because this year, for those of you folks who don't know, we've been talking about MagFest and what have you, and they have a 24-hour arcade at MagFest. Well, if you go with the 8-Bit Podcast crew, there will be fist fights in the parking lot from 12:30 in the afternoon until 1:30.
The first
And plenty
rule
of
of Fight Club,
slides.
don't talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club.
No, that's good. We're gonna have fist fights in the parking lot, and we're gonna win. Just so you know.
And
So
and
stay-
the winner gets a used jock strap from a jock. A
that
genuine
we found
jock.
on the Golden State Freeway. It appears to have mule hoof prints and chocolate sprinkles on it.
For real.
Anyway, that was the rant, and that brings us to the end of our program. We thank you for joining us. If you have any correspondence of any kind, hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. Also find us on Facebook. Find us individually on Facebook. Don't forget to look at the rest of the podcast. You might like them. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it, and we're signing out. Razor Fist?
I'm Razor Fist, and I hate Sony like I hate Al Qaeda. God fucking speed.
Alpha Omega Sin?
MagFest, it won't be just fist fights. There'll be plenty of bitches there to go and fuck in the teeth. So, yeah,
Or
in the
fisting
teeth,
in
not in the mouth.
On the mouth, yes. The super powerful Sainted Magnus?
See ya.
Hate Bit Podcast.